Monster Heroescape here this evening with a live stream. As promised last week, it was at Hexacon on Friday, and just didn't get the opportunity really to get set up at the game store like I had wanted. Got there early, and if you were watching my shorts, you kind of got a sense of kind of what went down. Basically, just couldn't get a space quick enough to get set up. Just a miscommunication with the store, I think, a little bit, and anyway, so didn't get to do a live stream of it, but I was there with the rest of the Hexacon crew, and so we got to see the announcements there live and just kind of talk about them a little bit. But then we went right back to gaming. So honestly, intentionally kept myself from going back and reading the cards. Obviously, throughout Discord, there's been some chatter about this, that, the other. I just kind of skimmed things, and I tried to keep myself as fresh away from that as possible so I could do a live stream and get a little bit more of a live react on some of these. Many of you have already looked at these cards, dug into them, and looked at the implications. So I'm going to be depending on you a little bit. If I miss a synergy or miss something, some sort of implication, that'll be good to have some discussions. I hope not to take up too much time tonight. It's already late. So we're going to basically focus on going through the cards, but we'll talk about a couple other things as well, because we did see a significant change, I guess you could say, in the way that Renegade has done their pricing. Many of you, I'm sure, have noticed that, but on paper, it's cheaper. During the announcement, the numbers look cheaper. So let's talk about that a little bit. So anyway, let's jump right in. I think the best way to start off would be to actually talk about the announcement from Jordan Gata, the marketing director at the convention, or not convention, at the Renegade Con. Right before the Renegade Con went live, he had chatted to everyone in the Heroescape Discord, and I'll just read it here. I should have honestly just prepped it and put it up here. Well, maybe I can actually just post this to myself or something. What's the quickest way to do this? Actually, I think I know how. Give me a second. Feel free in the chats to share your opinions on anything, this, that, the other. But give me a second. Let me see if I can pull this up for everybody. Let's just throw this in. There we go. Let's do that. I'm just going to put it in a message basically to myself and then bring it up. Yeah, there we go. And that way you guys can read it with me, so we're not just making stuff up. So give me a second here. I'm going to pull that up on the Discord here. Hopefully you guys don't mind waiting a second here. I'm ill prepared. Shame on me. Okay. We're doing this on the fly. I do want to read this because it was important. It's also important as we're going to be discussing kind of the impact, the relevance of this. Okay, can you guys see that? Alright, okay, so it's showing that I'm showing it on my screen. Is it not showing? Okay, give me a second. Might have to create a new window capture here. Apologies, professional streamer here. Yeah. No, not at all. We'll get to the review here in just a second. We're going to be reading. I want to read because I do want to talk about this, and I'm actually curious again on your opinions of the announcement for those of you that caught it, because it was just in the Discord. It wasn't during the YouTube. Announcement itself. Okay. Add source. There we go. Sorry, guys. Window capture. We'll call this window capture 6. How's that sound? We'll make this. Okay. Oh, are you able to see that now? Nice. Okay. Now I just just give me a second. There we go. Okay, cool. Let me know if you can't see that in the chats. That should be available now. So give me a second. Let me turn off that other one. Okay, sweet. Okay, cool. So I believe I can. I believe you guys should be able to see that. Let me know if you can. So, hey, Heroescape fans, we have some good news regarding future pricing to share. When we increased prices in 2025, it was based on what at the time was a 30% tariff. With that tariff now reduced, we're lowering future army boxes back to their pre-tariff pricing, beginning with our reveals for July 2026 coming later today. Despite tariffs being lowered based on current statements from the administration, they are not fully going away. We still be absorbing 50% in tariffs on our end, but we see that our worthwhile investment to support the continued growth of a game and keep prices as accessible as possible for everyone. Okay, thank you for your continued support. We're excited to keep growing the community with you all. Happy Renegade Con today. Now, super exciting, right? Because we're saying, hey, wow, they're listening. You know, they are, bringing down prices, and they're, again, taking on 50% of that tariff themselves. And so that's exciting as an announcement. And I was awesome. I saw that and I was like, awesome, great. And then during the YouTube announcement, right, we saw that those prices of those expansion packs coming through, were cheaper, technically. So let's talk about that a little bit. Basically, what I mean by that is, let's go to this other view. Oops. What did I do there? Oh, I need to turn that off. Oh, did I add? Oops. So yeah. Oh, okay. I added it on the wrong page. Okay, sorry. There you go. All right. Okay. So we need to turn back on. You guys, I'm telling you, I'm a professional streamer. Okay, there we go. All right. Let's see if this works. Okay, that. All right. Can you get? Okay, yeah, you should be able to see that now. Sweet. All right, cool. So here we are on the page for Heroescape, the new Heroescape site. I just brought up the prices here so you can see it on the shopping center. This is for all pre-painted stuff, just so you guys are aware. We're not talking about the unpainted stuff. When we're looking at this, we're saying, okay, great, $80, that's about the same as the G.I. Joe box expansion, or the battle box, which was like $85. Oops. Oh yeah, here we go. The expansion pack, we're like, oh wow, $55, right? Because in the past they were as high as like $70, right? The last announcement they were like $70 and $65, and I was like, holy cow, that's a lot. Same thing with this one, $50, and we're like, wow, nice, $50, nice. It's lower than usual, right? $45. Again, it seems to be cheaper. My concern is that when you actually look at the plastic, so to speak, right? The price per figure, it seems to be we're paying more, which has me a little bit torn, right? Because the battle box itself, I am paying cheaper, right? Like the battle box $80 is cheaper than the battle box for the GI Joe battle box, because the GI Joe battle box is $85 and this one's $80, but I'm getting 8 figures in the GI Joe battle box, and I'm only getting 6 figures in the Secrets of the Citadel battle box. So am I really paying less? Like, technically the expansion box is less but in reality, per plastic figure, right, I'm actually paying more on average. And so then I did, you compare a couple of the other expansion boxes, right? You look at the GI Joe Strike Force, it's 6 figures for $70, and so, like, again, the expansion pack, oh geez, it's $70, but it was 6 figures, so it was about $11 per figure. Well, you look at like the Crooked Crew, for example. Here we are. You guys? Oh, there it goes. Crooked Crew, $50. Well, the Crooked Crew, it's only 3 figures, right? So again, I'm doing recent prices from the last announcement versus, this announcement. So again, for 3 figures, I'm getting it's $16 a figure, right? Now again, the 50 is lower than the 70, but it's just a little bit. Oh, Ski, when did this live start? Oh, just a few minutes ago. You're not too far behind. I'm just doing a review on talking about the pricing, and then we'll get into the cards and the implications of, like, abilities and stuff. But I just wanted to start off because I was initially super excited about the pricing announcement, and I still am, because again, technically, I'm paying less for the full box, but in a way, we're actually paying more, right? Because again, it's 3 figures for $50, which is just less figures, right? Like, if it was 1 figure for $50, I would be pretty mad, right? And so 3 figures for $50, it's like, okay, but in the last announcement, we were getting 6 figures for $70, which is, again, per figure is cheaper, right? The Heroes of Arboreus, we're getting 5 figures for $70. Same type of thing. That was $14 per figure. And so roughly, you could look at the Clockwork Combine. Where's that one? Clockwork Combine up here, right? So this one's $55, and you're getting 4 figures, and that one, comes out to be about $13-14 a figure. Now, granted, something I do think that's worth mentioning is that some of these expansions do have larger figures. I do want to recognize that, right? So, like, well, actually, the battle box. In the battle box, I'm trying to remember. Let me look at these images. Oh no, so battle box actually is just all small medium. So the battle box, but it comes with terrain, so okay. But Clockwork Combine, notably, it does come with, like, a huge, dragon figure, and then 3 small figures. Crooked Crew does come with a large horse figure, and then 2 small figures. Might of the New Alliance does come with a huge Hive Lord and 3 large figures, so I'm kind of like, there's a part of me that's kind of like, okay. And then the cheapest one, $45 for 3 figures. These are all small and medium figures, but it's only 3 figures. And that comes out to $15 per figure for a small medium. So again, I'm still kind of wishy-washy on my overall outlook on the announcement, because again, I do feel like it's nice that the expansion boxes are cheaper than the previous expansion boxes, but I recognize that the price per figure is higher. And then I'm also recognizing that some of these do have large and huge figures in them. Technically more plastic, right? So in your mind, you're kind of like, okay, well, maybe that's worth the equivalent of like a 2 small medium figures or something. Anyway, that said, I do want to also point out that an expansion, where was it? I wanted to pull up the expansion. One of the cheapest expansions, sorry, give me a second, was, where was it? The forests. Here we go. I'm going to look under shop. In the forests, I think it's 45. Forests of Valhalla. Yeah. Oh, no, it's 40. Oh my gosh. So, if we're talking price of plastic, then I really don't know what the argument is from Renegade's perspective. Because we're getting 2 massive trees and 4 very large trees that take up a ton of plastic. Now, the detail is less, or I mean, I guess you could argue that, okay, it's less painting, it's less detail, so, you know, maybe the price is higher for the miniature figures because there's also cards to print and blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, with this, you're getting inside the box, you're getting an instruction manual, right, as well as the trees. So, you know, I think it's a bit of a wash there. So I'm actively coming up with, you know, my own criticisms. I'm trying to look at it from Renegade's perspective, and it's just hard to kind of square some of these, right? Because when you look at 40 divided by 6, that's like almost $7 a tree, right? So if we're talking just, you know, price of plastic, it's a little bit odd to me that we can buy $40 for a terrain expansion, you know, for roughly $6 a tree, right? But I have to pay $50 for 3 figures, right? So that's where I just struggled to make square on this announcement. Sour Cream, I find it wild that this isn't going to be a master set. I feel like bundling them would have allowed them to create them at a greater scale for overall reduced price per figure. Yeah, I agree. I have to agree. Maybe originally it was, and then they broke it apart and tried to come up with a meaningful way to package them separately. It kind of seems like maybe they did, right? Like maybe they literally had the Battle Box and the Ancient Lands expansion as like the full terrain set for the master set, and maybe these, you know, smaller expansions of figure boxes, maybe they were all just part of the master set, and then they had to find a way to break those apart to make them more, you know, cheaper and a little bit more meaningful. But that's weird to me, right? That's weird to me. Like, again, the box is cheaper, right, than the other expansions, but the price per figures is more. So I don't really know. I agree. I feel like the synergies make me want to go all in or just sit the whole wave out. I would prefer it in a whole master set under a more reasonable price, says Big Fig Bricks. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I like Renegade trying to do the right thing in a sense, right? Where they're trying to say, hey, you know, we're providing cheaper expansions, but it's not really if you're giving us less, right? If you're making it cheaper and giving us less, and the price per figure is more, then it's not really making sense to me. So, you know, I'd be curious to see what people think on that, right? Is this a big deal? Is this something to blow up? Kind of, maybe. I mean, that's where I'm kind of like, how much do I really want to rake Renegade over the coals for this? Part of me kind of wants to, right? Because it does seem a little bit odd that you would tout this as a huge, you know, discount for us, or hey, we're taking prices back, but then we're just getting less. So I don't know. I think these being all unique makes it all but confirmed this was supposed to be a master set. Yeah, you could be right. I mean, and, you know, fair point. Glad there aren't any commons in this wave. Maybe they actually do care about preventing common spam, even though it makes them lots of dollars. Kino Mind. Oh, this is not the end of commons. There'll be plenty more commons. I do think that this is just an introduction of a new age, and so they're doing uniques. Now, something else I do want to keep in mind that I, you know, thought about is unique packs, in a sense, could be more expensive than commons per figure because, again, anybody only ever needs one, right? Like, there's very few people that are going to go out and buy 6 packs of the Clockwork Combine Research Expedition, right? We all only need one, right? Now, some might buy 2 for a friend or whatever, like, but at the end of the day, we're not buying 6 or 7 common packs, we're buying 1, right? Because it's a unique pack. So, really, what does that mean? That means that they are more likely to produce less of it, right? Actually manufacture less of it, and therefore the price could per figure technically be higher. Whereas, you know, economies of scale, if you're printing a ton of commons, you would expect that the price would be much lower. what's so weird about that is last time we announced all the commons were like $70 a pack, and so we're just like, what is going on? And it wasn't cheaper. It was actually more expensive. And so here we are back to this technically a cheaper expansion box, but higher price per figure. So I'm going to leave that now, there out there for you guys to think about. Economies of scale would dictate this be more expensive than a common pack. No, exactly, and that's my point. Sour cream is it's this weird. This should be more than a common pack. Common packs should be cheaper, but they're making this look cheaper, but actually it's more expensive in the price per figure. So that's what it's just all weird. It's just all weird to me. I'm not really sure what's going on. I mean, behind the curtain, to your point, maybe there was a master set and they broke it apart, and so they. But again, what's the reasoning? What's the purpose behind that? Why would you break apart the master set? Now, maybe it's because the review I did last time where I was like, you guys, it's too much. Because maybe the master set was going to come off and be like a $300 master set, just like the $250 of the original Age of Annihilation. And maybe they just figured that would be really hard to market to everyone to say, hey, buy this new master set for $300. That might have been really tough for people to stomach, right? So maybe they figured break it into smaller pieces, make it easier for people to buy what they want, which, I think could be the case. It could be the case that they said, hey, if we're making people buy a $300 box master set and they only want a few of the figures, it's going to be really hard to convince those people that they should buy the whole thing for the others as well. So they're basically saying, here, buy a battle box, buy these army expansions with a subset of figures so that you can be more invested in the things that you're interested in, which I can understand, because that's some of the feedback I gave last time, right, was, hey, break apart, or not break apart, but basically my feedback was, having a common pack with common heroes doesn't make sense because you're not going to use all the heroes, right? Just have a small pack with one squad in each so people can just buy as many as they want and not have to get extra minis they don't want. So I can kind of see that argument as well. That the Dragon and Vords is $55 and Viceroy and Wraith Riders was $65. Very comparable boxes with the new one being cheaper. We also get glyphs with some of these. John Boy. Yeah, that's true. Viceroy and the Battle Balls came as a 4-figure pack. Viceroy being pretty massive. Yep, so that's a good comparison. I think you might be right about that. And so, I mean, fair point, right? I'm not comparing all the expansion army packs, right? There's a bunch of different expansion army packs that they've had. That was one of the earlier ones. I was just, comparing recent announcements, right? So like some of the G.I. Joe packs and whatnot. So take that with a grain of salt, right? I mean, I think there's probably a few other expansion army packs that might have been cheaper. I think they broke apart the master set, was going to be too much, but separating it made it more palatable. Oh yeah, agreed. I kind of like what I was saying. Also, from a production standpoint, the Dragon is actually 4 small minis. Oh yeah, that's true, because you removed the pieces. I did hear about that. I haven't actually looked or seen, but I heard that yes, you removed the pieces of the miniature, which is kind of crazy. But that will make for some fun, I'm sure. But yeah, exactly. There's weird things that increase cost, right? When you get more unique, injection molds and crazy things like modular miniatures and stuff, I'm sure there's hidden costs that make just a miniature like this Clockwork Dragon cost more. Yeah, that's a good point. So anyway, I won't spend too much more time on that point. Again, like, it's just weird. That's at the end of the day. I'm pointing it out to Renegade because it's just weird, right? Like, I'm not sure that they can explain to us all the hidden fees and the back end stuff, that they're dealing with. All I'm providing is my experience as a consumer on the front end. That yes, the box is cheaper. Thank you. Also, no, the figures are more per figure. That's weird, right? Again, I don't know what to think about that other than make assumptions and what they tell us. So. Have that what you will. We won't belabor the point. I just wanted to bring that out and just throw that down as some things to talk about for those of you that have already started buying or whatnot. Also, on that note, if you plan on buying HeroScape and it's already something you plan on doing, affiliate link. Oh no, where is it? There? I don't know. I can't. It's on the screen. Also in the description of like all my videos. If you want to support the channel, it's a great way to support. Yeah. So new expansion stuff here. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the actual miniatures or designs. So let's go to the bios. Because that's what the meat of this is we want to talk synergies, we want to talk bios. Okay, so let's just start off right at the top here. We've got Mr. Nishi Suda. So this is our first. Well, not our first. I should correct that statement. Well, no, I guess technically there were some nods to historical figures prior to this, but this is kind of our first historical design, at least that was announced, or rather, this is a clear announcement from Renegade to the people. Hey, this is the start or the beginning of historical miniatures being designed and worked on in HeroScape, which awesome, right? This is really awesome. So we've got at least one more. I'm trying to remember if there are other historicals. I think there's a couple other historicals. Anyway, we'll get to those. So, Nishi Suda. Right off the bat, we've got Human Unique Hero, the Lawman and Samurai. The dual classing thing is just like wild to me. It's just so weird. I agree with it to a point. I disagree with it mostly. For some miniatures like this one, where historically it's literally a lawman and a samurai, like that actually is the historical, accurate, aspect of this. It's just, for some of the other ones we'll get to, I do, because I remember this is a thing, right? Like in a lot of this announcement, we have a lot of dual classing in a lot of these new miniatures. It just feels forced, right? I think it's much more difficult to create a tight design that requires limitation, that requires you to limit yourself to a restricted set or standard of things, right? So for example, like the movement is a stat, it's a 6, it's a number, right? We don't have like 6/3, right? I sure hope we don't, right? Like there's not like conditional movement, right? Where's a conditional movement announced? It's in the special abilities, right? So if there's a unit that has 6 movement, but then there's some sort of special ability that augments that movement in some way, then that's reflected in the special abilities. His points are 75. It's not 75/20, right? That he's only 20 if he's used with, whatever units. He's 75 if he's used with there's a standard, right? And this kind of the same thing with the left box stats, right? The species is human. His type is unique hero, not unique hero and common hero, right? He's a lawman and a samurai. So I'm kind of so the dual classing, again, for this design, it does make sense. You can pass it and kind of whatever. But for a lot of designs that we're gonna get to, like what, like why, just it's a lot harder to create a tight design with the restrictions. Anyway. That's my opinion. So there we are. Discipline, medium 4, life 4, move 6, 1 range, attack 2, defense 4, stat 0.75, unique hero, right? So stat block for 75 points, not even looking at the abilities. Pretty okay. I mean, attack 2 is pretty trash. Defense 4 is good. Life 4, defense 4 for 75 points is pretty okay. And movement 6 is solid, right? Solid movement. So like mobility, survivability is pretty right there, but you feel like he's not going to be able to do any damage. Again, that's not even looking at abilities, so he kind of has to make up some of his points through his abilities. So if we're looking at Samurai Hero bonding, after revealing an order marker on and before taking a turn, you may take a turn with another Samurai Hero you control. Honestly, that kind of makes up for his points. Even if he didn't have any other abilities, any type of bonding is always good bonding, right? Because, I mean, gosh, that's amazing, right? Kaminawa, I mean, if you really want to do Kato Katsura, that's like 200, right? But like Kaminawa, right, is a great one to bond with, right? He's going to be able to basically just sit and screen for him while Kaminawa runs around and shoots stuff. Let's see. Definitely some complexity creep in the batch of expansions, says Johnny Boy. Sour Cream, to be fair, this whole set is about the mixing of factions lore-wise. I agree, this is the only one that makes total sense. Yeah, that's true. Well, and see, that's the other thing, Sour Cream, is as, I would be surprised if we get a dual general card that is half red and half blue next time for Jandar new card. Oh, no, please, no. Ugh, man. You can still represent alliances in other ways other than just like making an alliance. Oh man, don't do that. Don't give them ideas, Sour Cream. Anyway, yeah. So with the alliances, that's a fair point. With the alliances, we're gonna get to that because Konkan's ability made absolutely no sense to me, and we're gonna get to that because it kind of pissed me off a little bit. It makes very little sense to me to designs solely based off of lore, like HeroScape lore. I think it's okay to do like a nod, right? Like maybe the miniature itself has something that is unique, and you're like, oh, that part of the miniature that shows up in the lore, right? Or maybe a stat line. Right, like maybe movement 7 or 8 or something, and the figure in the lore is literally mentioned as high mobility or something like that, right? But HeroScape historically has actually not been very accurate to the lore in the actual card design. I'd have to go back and look, but I think the original bio of it was Cosmet the Dark Lord. I'm almost positive the original bio of Cosmic the Dark Lord said that. He was feared and known for his stalwart, shield, mighty shield of defense, or something to that effect, right? And if anyone knows anything about Cosmet the Dark Lord, he's a 3 life, 6 move, 3 attack, 3 defense unit that has 0 abilities referencing his defense. In fact, he gives an attack bonus to relentless figures. So for me, I think it's kind of hilarious because there's actually a lot of discrepancy between actual HeroScape designs and the original lore, such like that, right? Where you see that says he was a stalwart, defensive, Cosmet the Dark Lord, and then you're kind of like, 3 life, 3 defense, dies in about 1 attack. 2 attacks, for sure he's dead, right? So it's just kind of hilarious to me. And of all the percentage of HeroScapers, like, I would say 15-20% maybe keep up with and are actively reading and loving and understanding the lore, right? So, and for me personally, especially since Renegade started with the lore, I have not been invested and read it and been up to speed because a lot of it was just really bad early on. It was really bad writing and it was not enjoyable, and some of the decisions they made with the lore were just really rubbed me the wrong way, and I was like, I do not like this. You guys play with your lore books all you want. I'm not going to join that party. And so, so when they're coming out with these new alliance things, I'm kind of like, okay, this is cool. Like, you can come up with new, fun, interesting designs and miniatures, but like when you have a design that is specifically referencing the alliance in the lore, most people playing the game aren't going to understand and get it, and it's going to be really weird to them, and it's going to make no mechanical sense. And then when someone tells them, oh, well, you have to go read the lore, it's from the lore, then I'm going to sit there and be like, okay, like, sure. Like, what? Like, why do I need to read the lore to realize why this ability makes sense or works? Like, anyway, I think there's just, that seems weird to me, right? The game, I see Renegades trying to connect your lore with your gameplay so that when you're playing the game, you're playing the Alliance, right? Maybe in the scenarios or in the campaigns and whatnot. So, sure, right? I get that. But also, I just disagree. That's just me. I don't think the lore should direct or, fully commit to the abilities on a unit's card, right? The originals didn't always do that very well. And so I'm not sure that they necessarily need to do that. Okay. Couple comments. Let's see. Nishu being able to theoretically take a turn with Kamanawa and deputize Zelrig as talked about on HeroScape is a bit busted. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a bit. Yeah, it's... we'll talk through that. Here to say Osamu who's cracked. The old bio for Taylor did not match his card at all. Yeah, exactly. So many bios, so many lore things didn't match the card abilities. And we're okay with that, right? Because the game itself still functions fine. We didn't come for the lore. Few people did. We came for the gameplay. We came for the game. So if the game itself doesn't make sense to us, but it only makes sense if you connect it back to the lore that no one knows about or reads, to be completely honest, just saying, then it's just a bit weird. Okay, we're all ready to put down $225 for a new master set, but maybe many people considering getting into HeroScape aren't willing to do so. Wayne Kautzer, I agree. I think the master set's hard to swallow. I do. I really do. I think if they had announced that, my opinion would have been, well, this is great. I get to purchase it once. Also, it's still a lot of money, and it's going to be hard for people to buy in. I do agree with that. I think this is a lot easier for people to digest. They can spend any $80 on a battle box, and again, you get to choose what you like and buy it. I think there's advantages to that. I just disagree that the prices have to be higher per figure, right? I just think, announcing it as cheaper, but then technically it being more expensive for what you're getting is just weird. All right. The only excuse I will give for dual types is that Renegade needs to, 1, make a unit competitive and fitting in Contemporary, and 2, synergize with Classic Scape in a balanced fashion. Yeah, they don't, in Contemporary, they don't have a lot of classes yet, right? They don't have a lot of synergies. So building out the synergy web, this allows them to have a lot broader synergy. Agreed. I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. I think if you're building wide synergy webs all the time, that isn't always good. I think it's okay to have a closed synergy web. Elf Wizard Pod. I think that's okay. I think it's okay that the Elf Wizard Pod only works with the Elf Wizards. Does it make them harder to play? Yeah, it does. Does it make them more difficult to work in some formats? For sure, right? Because there's no, there's not like big bruisers, right? There's not like it's just the nature of that faction, that sub faction, so to speak. So yeah, like, I get it, but then when you start designing multi-classes and all these cross synergies across so many things, it can just be too much, right? And so that's kind of where I'm at, is, we're starting off with this one. We're going to get into some other ones. Let's not spend too much time on this one. All right. So we'll just finish up here. We have certain natural samurai bonding. Again, you're bonding with the samurai hero. After revealing an order marker on and taking a turn with Nishi Suda, if he is within 5 precise space of an enemy figure, you may take a turn with another lawman hero you control that has not activated this player turn. Yeah. So again, right? So again, here we have, cross synergies to lawman and to samurai. Now, let's see. Okay, so actually, I guess you get to do both of these? Because after revealing an order marker on and before taking a turn, and then after revealing an order marker on and taking a turn. Oh, wow. Oh, geez. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, you reveal an order marker, you take a turn with the samurai hero, and then you take a turn with Nishi, and then after you take a turn with Nishi, as long as he's within 5 of an enemy figure, I can take a turn with a lawman that has not activated in my turn yet. And then we're going to get to Guilty, who turns any figure in the game into a lawman, which is just like... So, okay, wow, yeah, yup, alright. Jeez. Oh, man, that's just like, oh, that's so crazy. Alright, okay. If Suda is engaged with exactly one enemy figure, and that figure is small or medium, that figure reduces attack. Okay, so sure, it just makes him easier to kill something with his 2 attack. I get it. When Suda successfully defends against a normal attack from an adjacent figure, that figure takes 1 wound for each success shield. That's just Counter-Strike. Right? Successfully defends against a normal attack from an adjacent figure. Yep. That figure takes 1 wound for each success shield. That's just Counter-Strike. okay. That's just Counter-Strike. They called it improved Counter-Strike. Not sure how it's improved, other than it sounds like new wording. It sounds like new wording. So yeah, okay, we'll move on. Yeah. So anyway, so Counter-Strike, he's a samurai, great sword catcher, a little bit easier, and then he does samurai hero bonding and call for backup. So he's just like bonding with all kinds of stuff. Cool. All right. Well, we're gonna move on because we only have so much time, and here we are. Okay, let's move on to Mr. Dawson here. Oh, okay, Darkleaf. Nice. Okay, so yeah, Darkleaf. Improved Counter-Strike works on other samurai. Okay, cool. Yep, good call out. Appreciate that. Yep. That's a good point. I did forget that in the Samurai's Counter-Strike cards, it always does mention that. Good point. Carlos was also updated with the new keyword. Okay, cool. Sweet. Yep. Easy. All right, Blink Dawson. Mr. Blink Dawson. Quick Draw 7. Well, let's see. Vorid, Unique Hero, Lawman, Precise. Okay, so we got a Lawman. Yep. Actually, there's a lot of Lawman coming out this time around. So, yeah, there's the whole synergy web's going to be wild. 25722 for 20 points. Love the filler unit. Honestly, actually, I do really like this unit. The reason I like this unit is because simplicity. Simplicity. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Look at the card. It's 1 power. There's one class. You know, the abilities are simple. It's 20 points, right? So we've got a filler unit finally. So he's going to be in every army. He's going to be in every army in Contemporary going forward because 20 points is a great filler. And by the way, he's just going to kill every range figure that tries to attack him, which is kind of insane. His stat block fits other lawmen, right? I mean, Guilty McCree, the original version, I think it's actually exactly the same. 2 life, 5 move, 7 range, 2 attack, 2 defense. So his stat block is honestly solid for 20 points. Like, even if he didn't have his quick draw ability, for a cleanup character, if he's the last guy on the board, and there's a couple, squad figures left or wounded hero, again, range 7 is great because you can usually get height, plink attacks of 3. It doesn't take much to fill your points. 1 or 2 kills on a unit or a couple wounds on something in the end game might just finish it off. And so generally 20-point figures with this kind of stat block, honestly worth their points. So super solid. And Quick Draw is just crazy. Now, I do want to mention Quick Draw, I think, is the first official Valhalla Customs ability that Renegade has adopted. And I have no problem with that. I just think that's really cool and worth mentioning. The idea of Blink Dawson absolutely destroying the Krav Maga in 1 turn makes me chuckle. Yeah, never attack him with the Krav, right? That makes no sense. He's a great range counter with 70% chance to activate. Yeah, I mean, it's, gosh. There's worlds where maybe if someone has Krav, you open on order markers on this guy, and you're just like, hey, I'm going to go out, I'm going to plink shots at Krav, and what are they going to do? I mean, obviously they could go kill other stuff, but, generally you kind of want to shoot at the threat, right? And so if you're trying to shoot at the Dawson threat, not a very good idea. So, odds are you're probably not going to open with a 20-point filler, but it's just kind of silly and fun to kind of think about. But anyway, so when Blink Dawson is chosen as a target from a normal attack from an enemy figure within 7 clear sight spaces that is not adjacent, you may immediately roll a 20-sided dice, 7 or higher. That attacking figure receives 1 wound, and that attack immediately ends. So they do not get to attack him, and they take a wound. Blip, blap, blop. They are dead. If they're a one life figure. Also notice it. A hero figure could just outright kill him, right? So Quick Draw 7's nice, but if you've got like a 6 life Lich, right, who's just plink shotting at him, it's like, yeah, Dawson can quick draw him and do a wound to him, so probably not the best idea to attack a 20-point figure to take a wound, but, well, actually, no, because it says that attack immediately ends. So I was gonna say the hero could just keep attacking, but no, that's incorrect. It literally states at the end that the attack immediately ends. No, so yeah, I think that's actually very good because now there's no lich, there's no great bow archer, there's nothing that's gonna want to target him because even if they take the wound, like say it just ended there and it says they take 1 wound. Okay, you just keep attacking him, right? So like yeah, you take the shot from the quick draw, but then you just attack him anyway. You took a wound, whatever. But this is literally like, no, you take a wound, also your attack's done. So it's just like, you're done. Also, the fact that he can bond with Nishi when Nishi is a 75-point figure and you're bonding with a 20-point figure is kind of like, right? That a 20-point figure gets to bond is going to mean he's going to have lots and lots of opportunities to do damage and fill his points. I love Blink's card, but why does he have to be a squirrel? Why does he have to be a squirrel? I don't know. I kind of like it. It's just a small, spunky little Vorid Lawman. I don't know. I don't really have any opinions on that. I think this is probably one of the most solid cards. It's simple. It's effective. It does a great job of representing a lawman with the stat block because it's similar to other lawmen. The abilities, and yeah, the miniature looks cool. So we're gonna move on. I'll actually put him in a gladiator army. Use him first, then activate the heavy hitters when range is lessened. Yeah. I mean, you literally could. You literally could. All right, so we went from Nishi Suda to the Lawman Blink to another Lawman. So we're just gonna hit up all the Lawmen here. Cainak. That's not how you pronounce it. I don't know how that's pronounced. Units with higher range than 7 can also shoot him without triggering quick draw. That's a good point, Oski. That's a good point. Yep, that's true. So you can just outright delete him with like a Q10, Q9. I mean, those are actually the only units so far that can, and in Contemporary, nothing has a range past 7, with an asterisk, right? Because technically, I think there's a new guy that does, but we'll cover that in a second. All right, so Volorak, Cainak, Private Eye, Cainak, Private Eye. Okay, first off, I hate these little titles being added to names. It's like every card. It's like every card. Why? In fact, is it Nishi Suda? Okay, it's just Nishi Suda. Blink Dawson. Wait, but Nishi Suda, does it say like Lawman or is it just Nishi? No, just Nishi Suda. So that's nice. But I think Blink Dawson does it. Doesn't it say? Oh no, it is just Blink Dawson. I'm okay with Blink Dawson. Okay, so I'm just maybe this is the only one. I don't know. We'll see in the other ones that we go through. Maybe Cainak is the only one, but I've noticed that in a lot of Renegade designs is they'll give like the name and then like the title. And I don't know that was ever done in original HeroScape. There might have been 1 or 2 cases of that I can remember. I mean, I guess you did have like Raylan the Kiri Warrior. So I guess there is that, the Kiri Warrior, right, for like literally all the Kiri Warriors. So I guess there is some precedent. Generally speaking, I just don't like that. I prefer just the name. Like, why does it need to say Private Eye? Right. Why does it need to say that? Okay, anyway, let's look at the abilities. Stat block first, 5 life, 5 move, 5 range, 4 attack, 3 defense, 85. Honestly, that's pretty solid. Not even looking up at the abilities, that's pretty solid. 5 life, 3 defense is a little bit weak on the survivability, but 5 move and 5 range is super solid. Super solid threat range, and a base attack of 4 with a range 5 is really good, right? Because you're taking height attacks and attacks of 5. Whew. Solid base stats. I would say for 85, it's just about there, maybe a little bit high. So it's going to be more dependent on the ability to fill the points. But the base stat doing damage with 4 dice on a range 5 is solid. And then you have the Orc, Unique Hero, Lawman, Crafty. So you can bond with the wait. She can bond, right? HeroScape Chain Gruts, right? She can bond with the chain gruts, right? Can't bond with normal gruts because those are champions. Wait. First take a turn with a champion you control who is an orc or who follows Volorak. So it's still only champions. Right? I'm having internet trouble. I hope not. Oh really? Is the stream not connecting very well? My apologies. I haven't gotten any notifications that it's an issue. Let me know if that continues to be an issue. I don't want to have to switch. I could switch to like a personal hotspot. Sometimes that improves it. Not always, but yeah. Let me know. Let me know if that continues to be an issue, guys. I'm seeing okay performance on my end. I'm not seeing any performance issues. So yeah, let me know if that continues to be an issue. Apologies for that. But yeah, again, go ahead and refresh the stream if that becomes an issue. So chain gruts, I don't think she bonds with chain gruts, right? If I'm reading this correctly, before taking a turn with chain gruts, you may first take a turn with a champion you control who is an orc or who follows Volorak. So really that's just saying champion that's following Volorak because that includes those Vorid champions, right? Or this is a champion orc. Or just any champion orc, actually. Who's an orc. Yeah, right. So they're going to bond with any champion orcs. They're going to be able to bond with any champion orcs, but they aren't going to be able to bond with just any orcs. And she's a lawman. Okay, yes, I'm correct by that. I was going to say, that's going to be broken. If they bonded, I was going to be like, that's broken, because then they would have a really strong range bonder, right? And they would basically just be up in the way, protecting her. Anyway, let's look at the ability. Pick up the trail. After a player turn in which one or more unique heroes you control were destroyed. Okay, so someone attacks your hero is destroyed. You may move all order markers on those heroes' army cards to this army card. Okay. Then, if any of the destroyed heroes was a lawman, you may reveal the X order marker on this army card to take a turn with Cainak Private Eye. Huh. So, after a player turn, basically it's saying, okay, when your opponent or someone else kills... After your opponent kills one of your heroes, if those heroes had order markers, you move them over to here. If any of them were lawmen that died, so it could be any hero. So any hero in your army that gets destroyed, that's a unique hero that gets destroyed on their turn. It saves an order marker. So you take those order markers and you get to save them by putting them on her now. So she gets the order markers. And if they happen to be a lawman, then you can also reveal the X and take a turn with Cainak. So essentially it's out of turn turns, right? Because your opponent, say they reveal order marker 1, the opponent takes their turn, they kill one of your heroes, they say my turn is over, you get to be like, hey, you killed one of my heroes, I'm going to move all my order markers to her. Also, it was a lawman, reveal the X, I get to take a turn with her right now. And that would be prior to your actual revealed order marker turn. So that's interesting. So yeah, it's kind of like it's an in between turn, as long as something that you had died, and it was a lawman. Okay, that's interesting. It's interesting. Renegade and the designers are playing with these new phases, or the abilities are very unique, right? It's an extra turn, but it's only when something dies and if it's a lawman. Yeah. So that's okay, right? If she's a lawman, actually I'm saying she. I actually don't even know. Do we know if it's a she? I don't know. Does it say? I don't know why I said she. Does it? No, it doesn't say. Okay. I don't know. It kind of looks like a he. I just assume I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. So when we have the Cainak taking a turn, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I guess it's just if you're doing like Lawman faction, right? So you go Nishi, you go Cainak, you go like Blink. Like you could have an army around that. You Guilty. We'll get to Guilty in a minute because basically Cainak, Nishi is giving all the turns with bonding and stuff. Well, Samurai and Lawman, and then she's saving if anything dies. Blink is countering any range, and then Guilty is doing some stuff. Okay, yeah. So it's interesting. It's interesting. She's kind of the protector and hits hard. Nice. Okay. Yeah. I don't mind it. I think it's a good army here. Oh, that's why. There it is. Cainak is a smart woman. Okay. Her job is selling problems. She does her job well on any given day. She will be involved. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, her bio. That's why I don't know why I assumed woman. I think maybe I had heard that or seen it. So, maybe during the announcement. Probably during the announcement on the YouTube announcement from Renegade. That's probably when it came up. Is they probably referred to Cainak as a woman, and so maybe I just made that assumption as well. Okay. Cool. Moving on. All right. We remove Cainak. Sudema. Super excited about Sudema. I love the original design of Sudema. Well, more so when VC produced the Crypt Guardians. Also, little, what's the word I'm looking for? Little, reveal, sneak peek? I don't know. Leak? No, not leak. Nugget? I don't know. Nugget? I don't know what I'm saying. What's the word? Yeah, sneak peek, I guess is the way to say it. Some of the games that I played at SaskCon, or the event that I won at SaskCon was with Sudema. So yeah, loved her. She did awesome. But again, she's really only as good as the Crypt Guardians from VC are. So good to see that she's getting a rework. Honestly, really stoked about that. So let's read up on her. So we've got Undead, Unique Hero, Queen, Wild. Yep, all the good things. Will you be posting this live after for rewatch? Need to get sleep. Yeah, no, this will be on the channel for sure. Yep. So this is live right now. Oski, thanks for staying up. Feel free to go to bed. I know it's late and it's gonna stay late. We're gonna be jumping through these. But yeah, no, this will be on the channel. You can go. It won't be under my normal videos. It'll just be under the live header, right? So the tabs. There's a few different tabs. Like I think it's videos, playlists, and then live. So it'll show up under that. So you can go and watch it under there. But yeah, so let's read up on Sudema. So again, she's a queen, so that's relevant because that means that she can bond with the Scions of Icaria, which doesn't necessarily make the Scions any better, but it does mean that she, has some synergy already, which is nice. Undead, I think because she's Vidar, yeah, because I think the Acolytes don't help her because you have to be Revna. But there may be other synergies with Undead anyway, so there we are. Sudema is good. I just think it's funny that her old ability instant killed squads, but now can only half kill 2-life squads. But she is great against Deathwalker since no size limit. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's talk about that. So base stats: 5 life, 5 move, 6 range, 3 attack, 3 defense. Already like worlds better than her original version. Her original version was 4 life, 5 move, 1 range, 2 attack, 3 defense, which was just like blah. So basically you had to entirely use her for her abilities, which was fine, but it made it really difficult to play her because she was so dependent on her abilities and her survivability was so bad. But this survivability is good. I mean, the base range of 6 is kind of awesome. Attack 3, again, super solid, especially with a range 6. So she's going to be attacking most things for 4. So she doesn't even need her abilities per se to get good value because that's just a solid range attack. So there is a world where you actually can kind of just hang back with her with the Scions. And again, it's not going to be great, but it'll be kind of fun. But range 6 and 3, she can just pot shot stuff and do good. So, Queen of the Crypt. After revealing an order marker on and before taking a turn with Sudema, you may take a turn with another another undead or Iceneck hero. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. you control that is on a shadow space or within 5 clear sight spaces. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, interesting. Okay, so they could be on a shadow space like 20 hexes away, all the way on the other side of the map, and you could still take a turn with them. If they're not on a shadow space, then they have to be within 5 clear sight spaces. If you do not, you may instead take a turn with an undead or Ice Snake unique squad you control. Ooh. Ooh. I like that a lot. Interesting. I didn't remember that the first time that they announced this. Very interesting. Yeah. That's pretty solid. In fact, that's pretty solid. Gosh, because, yeah, after leaving an order marker on her, and before taking her turn, you can take a turn with another undead or ice neck hero. It doesn't state unique either. It could be that could be common. That could be, yeah. Wow. Okay. That could literally be like the Lich, or that could be the Manticore, or that could be the Scavareth, for crying out loud. Gosh, she might pair pretty well with Scavareth. Most of these units have books already, surprisingly, and list the synergies. Oh, Mega Silver, stop. Stop being smart. Do I need to go in and find the books of Heroescape book Sudema? Is it gonna have the most recent? I think you're wrong. I don't think people are fast enough. Yeah, see, look at that. Sudema. Oh no, never mind, you're right. This one has 4 posts. That's too much effort, Mega Silver. I don't want to have to go through. Yeah, I mean, synergies offered. Yeah, gosh, that is pretty impressive. Okay, fine. Yeah, Queen. Let's see, unique hero squad, unique squad. So yeah, she can basically bond with any of these things. Yeah, Cyprin. Oh yeah, Cyprin Kilcarax. Oh my gosh, bond with Marku. Oh man, Marku doesn't have to reel an order marker to bond. Oh man. Wait, that's crazy broken. That's gonna be really, really good. You just play her with Marku. That's a 20-point bonder that can fly around for 7 and smack stuff for 4 and heals every turn. See, that's gonna be a very easy synergy, because you just bond with Marku as a 20-point hero with solid stats, and he can go out and just go smack stuff. Man, that's actually really good. The Necrotech Wraith Riders I really like as a bonding unit. That's literally what. Yeah, I mean that's crazy. I didn't think about Marku. Oh gosh, that's really good. Yeah, because, well, and if you don't, you may instead take a turn with an undead or Ice Neck unique squad you control. So any unique squad that's undead going forward, she can bond with. And Ice Neck unique squad, right now we just have the Necrotechs. So range tether helps keep it in check somewhat. The unique squads have no tether. I mean, yeah, but not if there's Shadow, Mega Silver, right? So if Marku's on, if there's a Shadow map, to your point, fair point, though. I see what you're saying, right? They have to be within 5 to take a turn, so I get that. But if it's a Shadow map, they can literally be, jumping all over the board, staying on Shadow, and always taking a turn with her. But on a non-Shadow map, sure, you're right. There is a 5-range tether. That is correct. But still, I still think that's really good, right? That Marku as a 20-point unit can be a bonder for her and run around the board. So 130 points, you're getting a bonded unit with her that's hitting for 4, 5 from height, 7 move, 6 life. Even though it has 1 defense, you don't have to roll for Eternal Hatred. Too bad the dog isn't undead. Exactly. I was just thinking. I don't know why they made those things omens. The Grave Grims. I wish they were undead. Playing her with the Crypt Guardians sounds fun. Yeah. In VC, the actual Crypt Guardians, The actual Crypt Guardians will be very good, I think. Getting the glare to near auto kill one squad is pretty cool. Well, yeah, so let's read that really quick. So after moving and before attacking... Oh, wait, that's interesting. Well, so yeah. Really quick, going back to your point, Mega Silver. The Crypt Guardians can take a turn with her when you have the order marker on the Crypt Guardian. But if you're playing this version with Crypt Guardians, you can have the order marker on her and then take a turn of the Crypt Guardian. Okay, yeah, that's cool. So it's basically, it doesn't matter where the order marker is, you get to do bonding either way. Okay, so Terrifying Glare 9. After moving before attacking, you may choose any figure within 5 clear sight spaces. Roll a 20-sided die. If you roll 9 or higher, that figure takes 1 wound. Oh, man. Yeah, Deathwalkers be screwed, dude. Deathwalkers, get out of here. Yeah, that's... Okay, that's... I'll just say this. That's an improvement. That's an improvement. I think that is. Her original ability was very, very polarizing because it worked on a 7 or higher for all squad figures, but only within 4, so you had to get pretty close. And the 7 or higher is nice; it's kind of an auto kill for squads. But then for heroes, it was crazy, right? You have to roll 17 or higher. But that was wild. It was like it just said destroy, so there was no conditions. It was just destroy a hero. So this isn't as polarizing. It's not just outright destroying a hero, but it's much more consistent, which makes it better, right? Because 9 or higher is still really good to deal a wound to a squad figure, but now you're insta-killing all Deathwalkers, and now you're just doing wounds to heroes, which is still very good, and it's within 5. And that's after moving and before attacking, which is always amazing. So yeah, I think she's good. Just jumping into the stream, I've been very excited for all the boxes in this wave, having heroes and da-da-da. Okay, just dumping wounds with Cyprins. Adding infantry would save the Deathwalkers from our right. Yeah, Aaron Mitchell. Oh, hey Aaron, how's it going? Aaron Mitchell is my brother-in-law, so all of you out there, say hi to Aaron. Welcome to the stream. I know it's late. We're gonna stay late. it's the only time I have to do this, and we're crawling along. There's a lot of things to talk about, but yeah, no, she's gonna be really good. I think for VC, she's gonna be very, very solid with Crypt Guardians now. She was already pretty good in the original version of VC, but we won't spend too much time. The VC synergy web is so vast, we won't go crazy and talk all through that. It is relevant for VC, but for now, let's avoid going too in depth because there's some stuff that's kind of a little bit unsure of, a little bit broken in those synergy webs anyway. So, all right, let's go. Let's move on. Yeah, Corvynn the Rotbeak. Ooh, see there? Yeah, that is just a crow. Yeah, just a fancy crow. The Rotbeak. All right. Undead, unique hero, Beast. Okay, so Beast bonding with the Arrow Gruts. Ooh, ooh, love to see it. Stealth flying. Ooh, nice. 3 life, 5 move, 1 range, 3 attack, 4 defense. Already, this is good, right? That stat line is actually is really good. A 30-point figure with 3 life and 4 defense is really good. That's really good survivability. And stealth flying, that means it's really mobile. That means you can use it to go and tie down stuff and it just won't die. Even if you tie down stuff and it dies within a couple attacks, sometimes 30 points just to keep someone busy for a few attacks is totally worth it. So again, abilities aside, I think this might be a really good bonder for the Arrow Gruts. Because it's a beast, right? Additionally, I think that makes it also a very good bonder for all the whatever they're called, the wizards, the Dryons, the Dryon wizards. For 30 points, you're getting a unit that can stealth fly around the board and lock down your opponents and still have a decent attack of 3, right? But it's the defense 4, life 3, the survivability that's wild for 30 points. Does the crow allow Sudema to use glance from the other side of the board? That's what it sounded like. Let's read that. For special powers that are not attacks on the army cards of unique, undead, and wizard heroes you control, you may treat figures within clear sight of Corvynn as within clear sight of the undead or wizard hero. When doing so, count range from Corvynn instead of the undead or wizard hero. Yes, to answer your question, that is absolutely correct. So, here we have a unit that is already, without the abilities, very good. Bonding with Arrowguts, bonding with the other wizards, Dryan wizards, because they have, move 5, life 3, attack 3, defense 4. That's just such a solid stat block. Stealth flying. And then on top of that, you drop in... Now, it's only relevant, I think, to Sudema. I think Sudema's the only one that gets that bonus. Corvynn doesn't have a link yet. I was going to check Corvynn. Oh, gosh. You're right. It does affect Mega Silver in the chat. Way to go, Mega Silver. It does affect Moorsbane. Because of Moorsbane negation ability. Oh, no. Oh, no. Negating or nuking. Not just extra range, but can peek around terrain. Yeah, so, yes. That's funny. Yep, so some of the classic stuff like Moorsbane is going to be kind of fun and silly and wild to try and pull that off. But Sudema, all right? Sudema, that's just solid, right? Because, again, she's revealing an order marker to bond with an undead hero, which can be this guy. And so her range of 5 for her ability to wound is now extended, potentially, to, limitless, right? Again, it's just anywhere where this thing is. Because it just says, for special powers that are not attacks on army cards. So, Corvynn, you could have sent him all the way over onto a castle somewhere, 20 hexes away. Now, again, technically, she's supposed to be within 5 to bond, but if somehow Corvynn got there because of shadow spaces or whatever, this dude could literally be 20 spaces away, and Sudema can just be like, blink, 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 auto wounds to stuff around Corvynn, and she's all the way over safe somewhere else. So that's kind of wild that you can send him out to go do the dirty work while she hides behind a ruin or something. I kind of love it. Yeah, no, that's going to be really interesting. Mega Silver Heat of Battle, yeah. Yeah, he's going to just be in the middle and just auto-damaging everything. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so Corvynn, honestly, solid unit. Super solid unit for the price point. Okay, Agent S146, we got to read up on the card of this guy because I remember just being like, what the heck, man? This is crazy. Oops. Alright. So, Vidar, Agent S14X. Yeah. First off, looks freaking dope, right? The actual miniature looks freaking dope. The cape looks freaking dope, like it's a hex cape. And I was kind of right. I think a lot of people were kind of right in the sense that we believed he was going to be an assassin-type unit, which he is. And we believed he was going to be some sort of terrain-style abilities or, hiding or whatever. Like, the cape being a hex and looking like some sort of, stealth cape or whatever, we thought there was going to be some sort of abilities around that. You don't need to click around on their website. All the cards are also in the display thread in the Scapers Discord. Cool. Thanks, Tommy. Didn't know that. I will not bother wasting any more time. No, I don't know. I haven't bothered checking the Discord thread, so it only takes a couple seconds. If it's really that annoying to you, then yes, I can go and try and find it on the Discord thread. Alright, so we've got 3 life, 6 move, 5 range, 2 attack, 5 defense. Okay, so the stat blocks for 80 points, not bad. 5 life and 3 defense is solid. 6 move, hypermobile. The range, interesting. I don't see any guns on him, but I think we can just assume he's a robot. He's got some sort of mechanical pistol or thing that he shoots out. So yeah, 3 life, 6 move, 5 range. 5 range is solid, so generally he's 6 move, 5 range. Is probably going to have height a lot of the time. Oh no, it's not annoying me. I was just letting you know. Okay, fair enough, Mega. Fair enough. No, I figured there were better ways to find the cards. this was the easiest way that I knew for sure, quickly as I was setting up tonight. So anyway, okay, so Soulborg Unique Hero Agent Tricky. Yeah, let's look at his ability. So Obfuscation Matrix, his space, so the space he's on, and all spaces within one of him are considered shadow spaces, in addition to their other terrain types. Well, that's amazing. Right? Yeah, Mika Knorr is going to love this. Absolutely. Not enough to make Dro competitive, but definitely gives them a boost. Yeah, honestly, Mika, Dro, there's going to be some crazy fun. Honestly, he will be a perfect draft unit. When I mean draft, I mean like in formats where there's draft, where you can pod draft or you can draft units, he will make the perfect draft unit. Because, yeah, wonky things like that, where you put in the draft pool a Mika and him and Dro, and is it good or amazing? Well, not necessarily, but if you can pull it off and you can set it up and there's interesting, interplays of units on how that works, then yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Like, so I think and we'll see. I mean, we'll see as time goes on. Maybe he's going to have more synergies and bonding and blah, 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 whatever. But for now, yeah, there's some cool little things. Yeah, Dark Claws from the VC like him. Yep. Let's see. Was just going to tell you Chris can't get the video of you and him to download. Premium Scape. Oh, the video that we took at TextCon. Oh man, that's unfortunate. It was only a couple minutes, so I hope it wasn't. Maybe it ended up being too large of a file. All right, there doesn't seem to be a height limit to Matrix as well. Oh, jeez. That's a good point for Matt. 1 second. His space and all spaces. Oh, gosh. I think you might be right about that. Matt. So this dude can be next to a castle wall, and the castle wall shadow on the top is shadow. That's wild. Okay, well, all right. Let's see those games where you have 50 height tier cliffs and castles, and this guy's making it a shadow space, and then Mika hops up and blips all the way up to the top of the castle. Oh man, that's wild. I think you might be right, because there, yeah, it just says spaces within one. That's just the space next to him. Which, if it's 20 spaces above, there's no height limitation. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. And it says in addition to their other terrain types. So it's shadow, but also it still could be lava, right? So if you're walking around the board and there's a road tile, you can still use the road tile next to him or past him, right? He's not covering up or blanketing those terrain types, which is kind of cool. So I do like that. All right, Phantom Protocols. Ravna and Vidar figures you control that start their movement on a shadow space can move through all figures and do not take limited engagement attacks during that movement. Wow. Okay. So anytime that he is paired with other Revna or Vidar units in your army, doesn't matter where on the board, if they start their movement on a shadow space, they just get Phantom Walk. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. So, yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, that's that's like literally, I mean, we talking major Q9, like major Q10, like okay, all right, I guess we're giving them Phantom Walk. It's literally any Vidar or Revna hero. Yeah, yes, exactly. So does that ability offer Q9 Phantom Walk out of shadow? Yes, that is correct. That's like any shadow map. If you somehow pair Q9 and Q10 or Q11, honestly, any of the Q series or Krav, and you put him in the same army and you drop him next to them so that they're always on a shadow space, that might just be worth it. Dropping him next to those units to give them shadow defense and the ability to at any point phantom walk out of bad engagements is crazy. Honestly, he might be kind of cheese. People might draft him instead of Raylan, because Raylan does get +2 defense. But if you're already kind of doing a pod, like with Q9, you're getting +1 defense from the shadow, but then you're also getting phantom walk, which honestly is one of the reasons why you get screwed in the Q9 builds, is because he gets engaged and then you don't want to take an LEA, you don't want to take a disengage to take wounds, and so you kind of get stuck. That's one of the strategies, is you engage Q9 to force him to either kill the unit or disengage. But man, if you pair him with this guy and you just pot up around him, and then you just phantom walk out of engagements. Oh man. Yeah, it does. It works on himself as well. Yep, he has phantom walk because he's always on shadow. So his defense isn't actually 5. His defense is 6, 100% of the time. Oh man, that's crazy. Shadow Assassin, while he is attacking a hero or squad figure that is on a shadow tile, all skulls in the attack roll count for 1 additional skull. Cool. So he's a minion of Utgar. Nice. Because he's I guess when he's a range when he's shooting, he's not a minion of Utgar, right? So when he's running up and smacking something to attack it, any figure adjacent to him is automatically on shadow, so they do get +1 defense, which is kind of interesting because in melee combat, you're actually helping your opponent's figure by giving it extra defense. But then, his skulls are doubled. So, okay, fair enough. Yeah, it seems very worth the points. I agree. He's solid. Super solid. Gonna be a fun wonky unit, honestly. It's gonna be really interesting to play him with a bunch of other units. The enemy gets +1 defense, but he gets double skulls. It's a worthy trade, I agree. For a mat time for Corvynn plus Moorsbane to remove his abilities. Yeah. Yep. No, that's interesting. I think he's a very techie unit. I like it. Honestly, I really like him. I think he's going to be fun for draft formats. I think there's a lot to like about that. All right, how far are we along? We have, oh boy, 3, 6, 9. We have 10 more units to get through. Okay, we might need to speed this up. I've only got through 6. And here we are, an hour and a half in. Okay, well, for those of you that want to stay up late, you're more than welcome to stay, but we're going to try and trudge through here. Okay. All right. Question is, can we get through all of these in the next? I want to probably sign off in another half hour. So half hour. We'll give ourselves a half hour to get through the rest of these. We're gonna kind of speed run some of these. Do our best to talk about synergies, but well, who knows? We like to talk. All right, Gene of Arc, human, unique hero, champion and knight. The dual class again. And this is one I don't agree with. Well, technically it makes sense. Champion and knight, blah, blah, blah. Again, what about Denric? Why isn't he a knight, right? He's a champion. What about Sir Dupuis? Why is Sir Dupuis a knight, but not a champion? Right? Like, why does she need to be both? Pick one, right? I think there's a lot to be said about simplicity, so this is one I do not agree with, dual classing here. That said, it provides a lot of opportunity. As a champion, she gets to bond with Knights of Weston and Frostclaw Paladins, so yay, right? But as a knight, she gets, well, let's think. What does she get for being a knight? In fact, actually, for Classicscape, I don't think anything. VC, she gets some stuff. But, well, Concan. I guess the original Concan gives knights +1/+1. So, anyway, whatever. It's more flavor for now. All right, dual personalities. Bradley hands a Joe. Well, Joe, that is a long name. I'm not going to bother trying to figure that out. But comment in the comments. Can't wait for dual personalities. Oh man, we're gonna have split personalities. Oh boy, golly, that's gonna, yeah. Don't give them ideas. Come on. All right, 4 life, 5 move, 3 attack, 2 defense for 40 points. Well, Joan of Arc being the champion that she is, it's a little bit embarrassing that they made her a filler. Because Jeanne d'Arc, yeah, 2 defense, 4 life, and 40 points is just like, right? She's going to die within 2 attacks. She's dead. So she's going to have to be useful in other ways. How does she do it? Let's look at her abilities. Shield of Faith. This figure would be affected by an attack. Attack dice, roll. Wait, after attack dice are rolled, you may roll a 20-sided die. If you roll a 13 or higher, ignore all wounds. Figures you control would take that. Wait, if this figure would be attacked by an attack. Okay, so this is in Jean. After attack dice are rolled, you may roll a 20-sided die. Right, 13 or higher. Ignore all wounds figures you control would take from that attack. Okay. What? If you use Shield of Faith 13, this figure cannot roll defense dice against this attack. What? Alright, someone's going to have to explain that one. If this figure would be affected by an attack. Okay, so Jeanne d'Arc's figure is going to be affected by an attack. You may roll a 20-sided die. If you roll a 13 or higher, ignore all wounds figures you control would take from that attack. If you use Shield of Faith 13, this figure cannot roll defense dice against this attack. So she's going to take damage, but she's somehow protecting others? I guess this would mean, yeah, AoE, like special attacks, like a Zelrig bomb, or like a Deathwalker explosion, or like a chain attack, right? I guess that's what that's saying. Yeah, Shield of Faith protects against explosions, lines, yeah. Her first power defends her and any other figure hit by something like Minimum Firelight. Okay, yeah, screen within a screen. Screenception. I wouldn't mind Zedian Infantry, yeah. Huh. So, if she would be affected by an attack, after the attack dice are rolled, I roll the 20-sided die. If I roll a 13 or higher, I ignore all wounds that figures I control would take from that attack. But if I use that ability, then this figure, Jean, cannot roll defense dice against this attack. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, if you roll a 13 or higher, I ignore all the wounds of others, and then she takes damage. But if I fail to roll it... Oh, no. Yeah, if I use it, using it is just rolling for it. Oh, is it rolling it, or if it's activating it? Oh, I don't know. Shield of Faith can protect her, but if she whiffs the roll, she can't defend against it normally. Oh, okay. Yeah, if she rolls and fails, she rolls no shields. Yeah. This one's a weird one. I'm going to have to play with it. I'm going to have to go and like, honestly, in gameplay, really think about that. She is a figure you control, right. She benefits from her own shield. Right, I get that, for sure. And if she uses the ability, right, if she activates it, even if she fails it, if she activates it, if she uses it, she attempts to roll for it, she doesn't get to roll defense dice anyway. That's weird. I'm not really sure because it just said that ignore wounds, so I don't really know. Her Faithful Spirit is probably good for when a hero has only 1 life left and not enough defense to block an attack. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's weird. I'm going to have to put a pin in that one. I got to think through game states and game implications of like what that actually looks like. That's wrapping my head around that's a little bit too much right now. A little more simple abilities, I agree. Faithful Spirit. When Jeanne d'Arc is destroyed, you may place her figure onto a unique army card. While she's on that army card gains the Shield of Faith 13 special power. Oh, okay. So even after she's dead, not only do you have to say, pat yourself on the back and say, woohoo, I don't have to worry about that ability anymore and what the impacts are. But no, now you get to put that ability on someone else and use that going forward. Oh boy. If the figure from that army card rolls a 1 through 6 for the ability, remove Jean from the army card. Okay, so you're giving her faithful spirit to somebody else to protect themselves and others. If they ever fail it and roll 1 through 6, then you lose the ability. Okay, sure. And then reach, she can just attack stuff from 2 spaces away because she has a pole arm. Okay, cool. Okay, well, yeah, I'm not going to bother trying to figure out that Faith Shield thing. That, basically, she protects herself and others and then also takes damage. Okay. Well, we'll figure that one out in time. I'm not gonna try and keep wrapping my head around that when it's too late, and I want to get through these, so we're gonna move on. Fritz Gallaghan. Alright, Gilry. Sweet Gilry. Woohoo! Sniper and Soldier. Hey, there we go. Another dual class. Soldier. There's lots of Soldier synergies, so that's going to be fun. You got Marcus synergies, so he can sit next to Marcus and get an attack buff. Also get an attack or movement buff. Yeah, and he's a Jandar soldier, so you see there's some implications there. He's fierce, which I think means he moves with the Gilry, right? I think Gilry are... I want to double check. I'm pretty sure Gilry's ability is fierce and... I mean, it would make sense. Whoops. My gosh, what am I clicking? It's fierce and, I think, an unfathomable? Yeah, there we go. Okay, yep. So, fierce and unfathomable. So, yeah, so he gets to move with the Gilry. Cool. So, I like that. And for 35 points, that means he's going to be super draftable in a Gilry army. Depending on the format, that should make for some fun army builds where he gets to move along with the Gilry. Okay. So, abilities, fire when ready. Well, actually, let's look at his stats. 2 life, 5 move, 5 range, 2 attack, 2 defense. Okay, trash stats. Oof. But, if he's going with the Gilry and they're in the way, he's not going to get focused down until it's relevant anyway. So, but pretty trash stats nonetheless. Fire when ready. At the end of your player turn, you may reveal the X order marker on this army card. So this is just any time. Oh, and take a turn with Fritz. Oh, bro! No other army card may take this turn instead of Fritz. If Fritz moves during this turn, he cannot attack. That's really good. So, the Gilry... I like that. So once per round, you can just use him on an X order marker to go blast stuff. Because you're taking all your turns with the Gilry, right? Your order markers are on the Gilry, so you're moving them and attacking with them all the round. And then in addition to that, after you've taken one of your turns, boom, you get to reveal an X on him and take a turn with him. Nice. Okay, I like that. And 35 points. Solid. And actually, it doesn't even have to be Gilry. It could be anything. He's 35 points. Throw him into any army. He has the X, boom, you get a turn with him. And with the range and this RA guided cannon special attack, let's read this. I actually haven't read it, so I don't know what it says. But range 10 attack 2. Oh boy. He does require you to spend the X on him and not title advance. Well, you can still title advance with the 3 order markers, so you don't get to move the full 4 movement. Agreed, but the X might be worth it later on in the game. So, first round 1 and round 2, no, you go full gear or you just bond. But by maybe round 2, but for sure by round 3, you're already developed enough into the map. You don't need all 4 order markers on the Gilry, so you can drop the X onto him and start taking turns with him, or passive turns with him. Range 10 attack 2, guided cannon special attack can target only figures that are adjacent to 1 or more figures you control. Okay, well, Gilry swarm the map. That's fairly easy to pull off. Figures never have height advantage against RA guided cannon special attack. Okay, that's good. I like that. So, the attack isn't great. It's only an attack of 2. But figures never have height. But the thing is, with the Gilry ability, title advance, you're always going to be able to get him up into the map. So this is more relevant for other builds, right? Where you drop him into an army for 35 points, and you're developing some other army units, and you throw the X on him, and then from 10 range you can plink shot stuff from 10 spaces away. Pretty solid, honestly, for 35 points. Yeah. Stat block's trash. Two defense, 2 life, right? One blowing on him will kill him, right? Pretty bad stats, but taking a free turn on an X order marker and being able to ping shot from 10 spaces away, yeah, solid. Okay, no, I like it. Moving on. I'm glad that there's another Gilry hero. That should make for some fun shenanigans. Con. Okay, first off, love the mini. Kind of an older Concan, a little bit older and wiser, but yeah, we get Concan, the Gary Warrior, 6 life, 5 move, 4 attack, 4 defense. I love that his stat block is basically the same. He has a little bit more life. I guess he gained that by being older and wiser too. But yeah, they did it again. They made him a champion and a warrior, which... Wait. Wait, does that mean he gets to bond with Knights of West? And I have to remember if it's human champion. Is it human champion? Or is it just champion? Okay, human champion. I was like, oh, shoot. Yeah, that's right. Knights of Weston, it's a human champion. Okay. For a second there, I was like, oh my gosh, what did they just do? No, so it's human champion. That's right. Okay. So, but because he's a champion... he does bond with Frostclaws, because I think it's just Jandar. Yeah, bonds with Frost. Okay, yeah, thanks for the confirmation. That's right, because the Frostclaws bond with any champions, which are, because they can bond with, obviously, Adelburn and humans. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, so he bonds with Frostclaws. Yeah, let's make the Frostclaws even better. Let's go. I'm actually kind of okay with that, because Frostclaws they're still good, but they haven't been as relevant with all the new expansions coming out. So stat block is just so solid for 100 points. 6 life, 5 move, 4 attack, 4 defense. No abilities considered. That's just good, right? Like, no abilities considered. That's just good. Flying, solid stats. Dude is totally a beast stick for 100. Worth 100 points just on that. Love it. Might of Bleakwood, other Jandar figures you control within 5 clear sight spaces of Conquer the Warrior. Add 1 to their attack value if there is a revealed order marker on an Utgar army card in your army. Now, here's the one, when I first saw the army card, I was like, what in the trash is happening here? Because, first off, I was like, okay, first off, that's crazy. He has an attack aura of 5. And then second off, I was like, but wait, why does it say revealed order marker on an Utgar army card in your army? I was like, Jandar and Utgar are arch enemies, fighting each other. And then someone was like, well, the Alliance. And I'm like, Alliance? What are you talking about? And then they're like, well, the lore. And I'm like, lore? And so this is a perfect example of where I think you do not tie the lore to a Heroescape unit card. Or rather, I just highly disagree with it, because I'm just like, I just don't like it, right? Because it makes no sense to 90% of people that understand Jandar is good, Utgar is evil. And I think that's okay. I think lore-wise, it's just so weird, and I don't like that they're like, and now we're all friends, right? If any of you watch anime and watch Fairy Tail, I hate Fairy Tail. I used to watch all of it. I watched like the first 6 or 7 seasons. I was super into it. It's super cool. But slowly over time, each season, I started realizing, I don't like this. And why don't I like it? Because there were big bad guys. All of them were evil. And that's okay to have evil bad guys. But, every time they defeated the bad guy, none of them died, first off. And then secondly, then they became their friends and became the good guys. And I was just like, what is going on? I was like, why is... And it was like, we defeated them with the power of friendship, and then they became our friends. And I was like, why? Why are we doing this? So anyway, I'm call me old traditional, but I like good and bad. I do. I think alliances are fine. Sure, I'm not saying your enemies can't become your friends, but that's kind of what I'm saying. In a fantasy, fiction fantasy sense, right? I think this is a great representation of just a weird thing to do, right? I disagree with the alliance between Uthgar and Jandar. I don't like that lore direction, right? The lore was established that was kind of the, evil versus good, right? And I just disagree with it. And so now we have a card that's like Concan, honorable, warrior, Kiri, attack bonus, but only if you've allianced with Uthgar and have a revealed Uthgar card. I'm like, what? That makes no sense. So anyway, it'll be interesting to pull off. I mean, I don't know that it'll ever become relevant. I mean, maybe there's a world where you just draft a random, Uthgar unit and reveal an order marker just to get this buff, because it's still a crazy buff. I mean, it's literally an attack aura with 5 clear sight spaces. That just might be worth it to waste an order marker revealing on an Uthgar unit, right? Like, again, there's with some weird synergies. Like it is interesting. I'm not gonna don't get me wrong, it is interesting. I just hate that it's a lore based ability, right? And it doesn't make sense to me. But it is interesting because you're gonna have some builds where you're like, oh wait, I'm wasting a turn to reveal an order marker on this Uthgar unit, but also, boom, now I get attack aura with 5 range. It's just like, oh my gosh, that's insane. That's so crazy. Because it doesn't say when attacking adjacent. So you could have some really strong range units. Omnicron snipers. Great bow archers. You could have some really strong Jandar units within that 5 clear sight spaces or of Concan that maybe don't mind wasting a turn on Uthgar just so they can get some crazy attack buff. So anyway, that'll be interesting to see. That will be interesting to see. Yeah, just looking at some comments. Yeah, I'm not gonna read through all of them, but yeah, exactly. You reveal it on like some rats. Exactly. Reveal it on rats and just go scatter the board, and now you have an attack aura for turns 2 and 3. In fact, I think that's kind of broken. I think you're right. Actually, I think you're right. I think this might be new tech. You in like an all-time format, you just spam rats. You have like 5 squads of rats and Concan 2.0, and then you just drop in a bunch of great bows or Omnicrons. You spend an order marker every round on rats, which doesn't feel bad. You run around and engage a bunch of stuff and be annoying with rats. Every round, you just put an order marker on rats. You get the attack buff for turns 2 and 3. And then you blow everything up. With Omnicrons or Great Bows, I think both are legitimate draft choices with him because of that aura. That's crazy. Oh, boy. Okay. Alright. I didn't even talk about Vigilance. Uthgar figures you control within 5 clear sight spaces of Concat add 1 to their defense value if there's a revealed order marker on a Jandar army card in your army. Oh, dude, what? Oh my gosh. Oh, man. Yes. This is going to be broken. Death Reaver tech with Concan. Oh my gosh. You guys, what did we... Oh, this is so crazy. This is so crazy because that's totally doable. You totally could run like 3-4 squads of rats. Concan. Gosh, I gotta do some math. And your Jandar units are all getting an attack buff, and then your 4 defense Death Reavers are getting a defense buff. My gosh. Okay. I have to do some math. Okay, let's talk actual pricing, right? Death Reavers, I don't know if Renegade increased Death Reaver pricing. I don't think they did. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll say standard pricing. We're just gonna do standard pricing for now. We'll just say cheese format standard pricing. We'll just do rats times I don't know. We'll just say rats times 4 because that's kind of the standard. You want at least 4 squads. Rats times 4. Then you add Concan for 100. So that's 260. So let's do standard 500. Let's just say Great Bows. Great Bows are 80. Well, maybe you can only get 4, 3 squads for sure. Oh, well, 3 squads. Okay, so you get 3 squads. Okay, I mean, 3 squads is only 6 figures, but 2 life figures, and then you're getting an attack buff. Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe 4 squads of rats is too much. Maybe you only need 2 or 3 squads. So maybe you go 2 squads and then 4 squads of Jandar. Yeah, that'd be interesting. You'd have to kind of play with that. Maybe you do 2 squads of rats, Concan, and then 4 squads of great bows. Or you do like 3 squad. I don't know. For 500, you can get 4 squads of rats, Concan, and then 3 squads of great bows. I mean, that feels pretty good. someone, you could playtest that now with the current Concan miniature, the 1.0, and just test it. Great bows times 3, Concan, rats times 4, cheese format or cheese army. Let's go, because your great bows are getting +1 attack, your rats are getting +1 defense. Well, again, assuming that your rats are within 5 spaces, that's fair, right? Because you're not. I mean, if you're across the board trying to engage other stuff, then yeah. But I mean, if you've potted up and kind of stayed within 5, man, that's base 5 defense on your rats, base 4 attack on your great bows, plus whatever bonus they get from their range ability. Agreed. If you apply this logic to anything else, it makes no sense. Like Sauron and Gandalf are now friends. Darth Sidious teams up with Yoda. A big fig bricks. Yeah, exactly. Lore-wise, Utkar has currently been overthrown by Leviatak, who is trying to start a new alliance with Jandar. Oh no, I get it. I've heard lore stuff left and right. I mean, people have been, I've heard through the grapevine Leviatak's rebellion and whatever, whatever. Okay, sure. Like, anybody can write lore. I get it. Whatever. Good becomes bad. It's just my opinion, right? It's just I kind of like the good old days when we could just still have good and evil, and we could have our Utkar, we could have our Jandar, and we could have the age old fight between good and evil, right? And then you have all the other factions that kind of pick a side, and I don't mind. See, I actually don't mind the Einars and the Vidars and the Aquilas and the Ulars kind of, picking sides, and then maybe that part of the alliance shifts, and maybe there's some, hurt feelings, and they jump between Utkar and Jandar. Sure, I'm okay with that. It's just I kind of like the binary Utkar, good and evil, Utkar and Jandar. That's just me. So, anyway. Yeah, so Concan, we spent quite a few minutes on Concan. We're done. Cool guy. Love the mini. Let's jump through the bears. Gnarlur Raiders. Gnarlur Raiders, Ursines. Yay, more bears. Actually, I'm super stoked. I love more bears. Honestly, love it. Love it. Super cool. Unique squad, Raiders, Relentless, Large 7, yes. 2 life, 5 move, 3 attack, 3 defense, yes. 90 points, yes. Solid stats, love it. Mighty Hero bonding, sure. We love bonding on the bears. Gotta love that. Before taking a turn with the Gnarlur Raiders, you may first take a turn with a Valiant. Oh. Oh, a Valiant or Relentless? I thought it was just Relentless. Oh my gosh, they're going to be bonding with Drake Alexander. Oh man. Okay. With a Valiant or Relentless hero you control whose affiliation is Utkar or Jandar. Oh man. Well, first off, there's a ton of Relentless heroes. Both in VC and in Classic. So that just makes like bonding with everything. I mean, I'm okay with it. It's just a unique squad. So they oh gosh, Krug. They bond with Krug. Oh man, I gotta look at this tree. I gotta look at this bonding tree, you guys. Okay, Relentless. Let's go by heroes. Where's heroes? Gosh, heroes. Squad hero. Okay, Relentless. Let's include VC. Well, no, let's not include VC. That's just getting too much. Uh, we've got Sajoa. Oh, okay. Taylor, naturally. Werewolf Lord, okay. Krug, Venok Warlord, Raylan, AOA. Okay, yeah, yep. Sir Hawthorne, nice. Leviatak, okay, that makes sense that they can bond with her. Kazumet, that's actually super dope because he gives an attack buff. So he actually he might be a good tech for them because he's a cheap bonder and gives an attack bonus. You need to separate by general to. Oh, sure, good point. Sorry, you're right, Mega. That's a good point. Yep, because he doesn't bond with. That's a good point. Where? Okay, general. There we go. Or wait, that didn't work. I don't know. Okay, so it didn't filter by. I'm not. How did I not filter by general? Oh, it just sorted it by general. How do I? Oh, there we go. Class, personality, species, relentless. Anyway, doesn't matter. You get the idea. There's not a ton. Dumatef Guard, Kazumet, Leviatak, Sir Hawthorne, Raylan, Krug, Werewolf Lord, Taylord. No Venok Warlord. Air Elemental, though. You do get a bond with an Air Elemental, and you don't get a bond with Sajoa. Okay. Cool. But then you do get to do Valiant. Okay, yeah. So Jandar, yep. Any of the Drakes. Oh, Sir Dupuis! Let's go! Sir Dupuis gets an official bonder. Actually, low-key, that might be really good. Man, that might be really good. Putting him with those gnarl furs. Renegade's army builder might be quicker. Yeah, it might be. That's true. I'm just doing this, what I'm familiar with. Yeah, Alistair. Alistair's a solid bonder. Knight Irene. Oh, Gilbert. Yeah, so Sir Gilbert. Oh, bonding with Sir Denric. Yep. Well, it's okay. So yeah, it should be. Ooh. So we do get bonding with Concan. Okay. Yeah, we do get bonding with Concan. So this Concan and the other Concan. Oh, so you would get to reveal an order marker on an Utgar unit, which would be the Gnarlfurs, bond with the new Concan, and then give these guys a defense bonus. Oh, ho, ho. That's actually pretty good. Oh, man, and then you could do the Frost Claws in the same army. Wait, you could do the Gnarlfurs and the Frost Claws. Oh, that's so dirty. You could do the Gnarlfurs and the Frost Claws. Frost Claws could bond with, like, Alistair or any of the champions, Adelburn, whatever. And then the Gnarlfurs, the same Valiant hero. So you could do, Alistair would be a great example. Because the Frost Claws, you'd put an order marker, and they would get an attack bonus from Concan, but they'd bond with Alistair. Gnarlfurs could bond with Alistair or Concan, and then get a defense bonus from Concan. Oh boy, reveal an X order marker on Fritz and then blow. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, man, that's wild. Okay. Oh, Finn. Actually, Finn's good. Yep, you could do some cheap Finn, Thogrim, Sam Brown. Yeah. Sam Brown is a super strong option. Even Eldgrim, honestly, just another bonder. Well, Karos doesn't get to bond. None of these get to bond. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, and that's it. Okay, cool. Yeah. So honestly, some solid options. Holy crap. That's really solid. And then increase the move, attack, and defense values of this army card by 1 for each of your destroyed Gnarlfur Raiders, which just makes them statted freaks, right? So 2 of them die, they become 5 attack, 5 defense. Which they just become their own hero, which is kind of cool. Krug with the Bad Bears actually sounds sweet since they both get stronger as they take damage. Yeah, bonding with Krug is kind of crazy. Honestly, that's some solid options, dude. I am not gonna lie. I'm gonna really have to think about army building around those guys. That's cool. That is super cool. All right, Karga. Karga, super solid stats. Oh, the last bear is a 7-1-5-5. Oh, right, because the movement as well. Yeah, bonds with Lovi and rerolls. Yeah, rerolls crazy, yeah. Alright, so Karga, 7 life, 6 move, 5 attack, 5 defense. Oh my gosh, Kino Mind, make them pirates with the Widow. Dude, stop. Stop it. Oh my gosh, you're right. Oh, that would be crazy. Yeah, pirates with the Widow. Pirates with the freaking Widow. My gosh. Wait, did I not put in... Wait, the Widow's not Valiant, right? Let's just double check. I think she's disciplined. She's bold. Okay. Whew. I was like, please don't tell me they bond with her. Because that would be too easy. Alright. Alright, Karga, Morrow, Hive Lord. Yes. Oh, Relentless. Well, there we go, you guys. There we go. We've got an Ukar Relentless Hive Lord that gets to bond with the Gnarlfurs. Crazy. Okay. Yeah. My gosh, that's actually wild. This might be a really good bonder for them. Because that stat block, 7 life, 6 move, 5 attack, 3 defense, super solid. A little bit high for 140, just based on the stat line itself, because 3 defense can burn pretty quick with even with 7 life. But you're moving and hitting hard. And then, so you have to make up in the ability. But the ability is really cool, based off of what I remember. So let's read through it. Instead of moving normally, you may Hive Tunnel. Choose an empty space within 4, and place Karga on that space. Roll a 20-sided die for each figure adjacent to Karga. Okay, so... Okay, and place... Wait. Okay, yeah, and place... So you just, within 4, place on the space. Each figure adjacent to her, add 1 to the die roll for each wound on this army card. Okay, so up to +6. If you roll a 1 through 13, okay, if you roll a 14 through 19, honestly, that's kind of like a fire elemental. 14 through 19, that figure receives 1 wound. If you roll a 20, that figure receives 3 wounds. Okay, okay. If she is engaged and she starts to Hive Tunnel, she will take... Okay, takes 3 engagements. Actually, I really like this card. This is actually very simple. This is very simple, and yes, Daniel Chance, for those that are familiar with VC, it's an AoE Ashy Dulu. Yep, it's a mega created Ashy Dulu for the VC, and yes, it's basically just Ashy Dulu. In a way, Ashy Dulu insta-killed units, which I actually really liked, and it was before moving and after attacking, I think, so you got to insta-kill, eat, and then attack. This isn't quite that. It kind of is. With squad figures with 1 life, it actually is much better, and it's kind of terrifying if you set it up, especially on like an initiative switch where you can set yourself up within 4 of a specific spot. Really good for blowing up pods, so if you're trying to pod up and you leave an open spot accidentally, or one gets opened by whatever, man, this thing's coming in and it's just erupting in your face and then just dealing a ton of damage, potentially. Again, it has to be a 14 or higher, and it does more damage as it gets wounded, which is interesting because you don't want it to die, but in a way, you're kind of okay with that, right? Because that makes it much more likely that you're dealing damage, and it becomes a 50-50 chance of doing quite a bit of wounds once that D20 is, once you get 3 wounds on her, I mean, you're basically getting a 50-50 chance of dealing a bunch of wounds to stuff, so... Still super solid. Use with Nagrubs to keep her alive and bonding. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think this will be really fun. At 140 points is such a great bonder for Nagrubs. I think Nagrubs are going to really love playing with Karga because the stat line's super solid, so you can just run around and whack stuff. You don't have to use the Hive Tunnel. So you run around and just whack stuff, heal her up with Nagrubs, but when it's relevant, you maybe not heal, and you go and do some Hive Tunnels to blow some positions up. It's going to be fun. I mean, one thing I do like and what I can say about all the units up to this point, and as we continue to review them, a ton of back synergy to Classic Scape, which I do really like. I think it makes for a lot of fun army building. I adore this Marl, still one of my favorite OG factions. I'm sure I'll use her with Nagrubs and maybe even Subakna. Yeah, I don't know. You might want to take that back. Subakna's not going to be worth it. I mean, he gives +1 to the D20 power, sure. But one, you're going to either need to make it a format where Subakna's for free, or something like that. Yeah. It's nice to finally have another Morrow with proper paint job. Yes, the paint job is finally correct. The paint job is finally correct. So good on them to do that right, because they botched Bachburnoff for sure. All right, Draipia. I only vaguely remember this one. I just remember it being insane in synergy. Anyway, okay. Oh, Durgeth. I did not realize this was a Durgeth. Okay. I guess we've never seen or confirmed what a Durgeth is supposed to look like, so this is Renegade's interpretation of the Durgeth, I guess. Fair enough. VC has done Durgeth, so maybe that's why I'm a little bit surprised. I kind of prefer, at least initially, the Durgeth aesthetic that the VC has come up with. But yeah, we've got Durgeth as the class or the species, unique hero, scientist and wizard, Callus. Okay, 6 life, 5 move, 1 range, 3 attack, 3 defense. Honestly, solid stat block for 75 without even looking at the abilities. Durgeth were canonized as a lizard species with the Dreadnoughts bio. Oh, seriously? Ugh. Okay, come on. Once again, a lore-based, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I don't really care. It's fine. They're trying to build out portions of the lore that have never been built out. So I get that, right? The Durgeth have always been referenced in lore, in the original lore, but we never were given, at least from what I remember about Durgeth, we were never given specifics on the species of the type. So, to be fair, they control the lore, they control the brand, and so like they have that creative ability, creative license, I guess you could say, to do that. Yes, exactly. Durgeth have only ever existed in lore. I agree. That's my point. Is I'm kind of like, you know what? I really can't be that angry because they were never really built out as a faction. So I can't blame Renegade for finally defining that, right? It's just not what I expected. So that's fine. It's whatever. Okay, so Durgeth. Yep, solid stats. Species Splicer. At the start of the game, you may choose one species from another non-Solborg army card in your army. Until Draipia is destroyed, she gains that species. Well, that's crazy. Yeah, so she can become an elf wizard. Absolutely. That is the most natural pairing. That would make sense, because the wizard class. I'd have to think about this a little bit, and I'm not going to bother unless you guys immediately have answers, but I kind of feel like there's probably some other bonding or synergies that she could do with that. I think Scientist comes up later. I think there's bonding with Scientist. That's in one of the later units, but first official lizard folk hero in a way. Kind of. In a way, kind of, yeah. Bloodstitcher 15. Her synergy is massive, but so far most of them are not useful. Right. Well, so to be fair, you're right, Megasilver, right? her synergy is like literally limitless, right? Because she can be any species that exists, right? So she can always be whatever species there is in any faction. But whether or not that actually makes her usable in those factions, yeah, remains to be seen. So sure. Making her Icinek is kind of cool, because then you can bond her with Lich. So that, yeah, that I could see that. Scorder as well. Make her a Scorder so she can bond with the bugs. Why does the ocean shallow as a puddle? Yeah. She could be an elemental. That's true, but I don't think she bonds with Kirok. Yeah, exactly. Squirter infantry can bond with her. Yep. They can bond with her, absolutely. Yeah, and that would be interesting for only 75 points. Like, I think a cheap bonder is nice. I do like Icinek. That seems kind of fun because, Lich bonding with her seems just kind of fun. And, well, no, she doesn't follow Revna though. So she wouldn't get the benefit of the Revenant Acolytes, because Revenant Acolytes only help Revna heroes. Yeah. Okay. Once per turn, before or after moving, normally Draipia may choose one adjacent non-Solberg figure and remove 1 or 2 wound markers from it. Oh, jeez. Oh. If she does, she takes an equal number of wounds. If she was not destroyed, roll a 20-sided die for each wound marker on her army card. For each roll of 15 or higher, remove 1 marker. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I like that. I kind of like turning her into a Scordair so that she can bond with the... Yeah, so she can bond with the infantry and heal like a Maladrix. Yeah. Or just whatever heroes you have, I guess. Yeah. That's cool. I like that. It's so you're healing heroes for free. She's taking the wounds, but then potentially not taking the wounds. I like that. So basically it's 6 wounds for free to heal. I like that. That's cool. I'll do it myself. Once per round, before you reveal a numbered order marker on an army card in your army, you may move that order marker to Draipia and reveal it. Okay, sure. I mean, it just gives you the freedom. If last minute you're like, oh my gosh, my unit's gonna die, I need to heal it, and she's nearby, boom, you can just run her over to heal it. That's interesting. It's nothing like crazy or I would consider broken yet. Maybe, but I don't think so. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, cool. And flying. Yeah. Like it. Sweet. Alright. Where are we at? How are we doing? We're ticking on. Oh, we're above 2 hours now, so we're looking pretty good on content. My gosh, you guys have stuck around this long. It's already Central Time. It's 11:30. We'll see how long you guys last. I'm trying to go a little bit faster. All right, Guilty McCree. Mr. Guilty. All right, Guilty McCree, double attack naturally. Oh, human, lawman, greedy, blah blah blah. Life 3, move 5, range 7, attack 2, or attack 2, defense 3. Okay, yeah. So he's upgraded a little bit. So his original version was 2 life, 2 defense. Now he's got a little more life, a little more defense. Nice. Okay, so his double attack, deputize, and long arm of the law. Okay, at the start of the game, you may place a silver badge marker on one unique hero in your army that is a sniper. Oh, a sniper, or follows Einar or Volrak. For this game, it gains the class of lawman. Yup. So there's going to be a lot of shenanigans with that. Now, I won't get into the VC implications because many of you may not be familiar, but that breaks VC like crazy. I don't know that it breaks, but it kind of does. I mean, there's the faction with Clayton Pierce just got A tier real fast with a bunch of new lawmen, and then a lawman that can turn any unit in the game. That's a sniper, an Einar, or a Volak into a lawman, which just makes so many opportunities for so many crazy things in VC. So that will be funny. Well, that will be crazy and fun and funny to figure out. In Classic, yeah, you have Fritz, you have the Deadeye, Dan plays there that you can turn into lawman, and then because of that, they get to bond. I think this ability is kind of a fix for Deadeye, right? Poor Deadeye was kind of left as a deputy or a lawman, unable to do anything. Yeah, Zelrig lawman, Kamenawa lawman, yes, Mega's over 100%. Yeah, you're gonna have Classic Scape, not even VC, but Classic Scape is just gonna be wild, because you're just gonna be taking bonded turns with Zelrig as a lawman, and it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. So, very interesting. Not exactly sure I like it. We'll see. Tendrils Kree is another really fun one. Oh gosh. You're right. Tendrils Creel is super solid. Yeah, Tendrils Creel is a super solid option. Yep. Once per turn, before, during, or after moving normally, you may choose a treasure glyph. Okay. Place a power set up on Guilty's army card. Or the army card of a friendly, unique lawman. Okay. And do not roll for traps on treasure glyphs collected this long arm of the law. Ha! Cool. First off, super disappointed that that's the usage of this. like there's so many other cool abilities you could have come up with for a freaking bionic arm on the back of his that he's wearing. Like, of all the abilities, this is what you came up with. The ability to grab a treasure glyph without taking a trap, and then to place it on his own card or a friendly card. I'm like, mechanically, like, gameplay-wise, how does that make sense? If I'm a lawman, and I've got this freaking sweet claw arm on my back, this mechanicized claw arm, I kind of hope I'm going to use it to fight the bad guys, you know, not grab a treasure off of him or grab a treasure off the ground and bring it to me. So, first off, super disappointed. I thought it was going to be some sort of auto damage or extra attack or movement ability. There is some treasure synergy across the other Combine heroes, but yeah, the arm is utility, not murder. Yeah, like, I get it. You're going to be able to move treasure glyphs around and blah, 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 whatever. Like, it's going to be fine. I'm disappointed that such a cool thing is for an ability. I'm just kind of like, okay. Like, you could have done that in a different way. Like, he didn't need a claw arm. You could have just given him an ability of, like, quick hands or something and just call it quick hands, and he quickly steals a hand from a treasure glyph from someone. Yeah, you could have let him go up and down in distances. Yeah, I just think there was way more opportunity to do something unique and interesting there, so whatever. Whatever, man. Whoops. Oh no. What did I do? Secrets of the Citadel. Okay, Karga. Alright, this one I do remember as being broken, so let's just look at it really quick. Human, unique hero, samurai, tormented, large, 6 life, 8 move, 3 attack, 4 defense. Okay, stat block, wild. 6 life and 4 defense, so solid. 8 movement, crazy. 3 attack is pretty okay. And then the blade, yes, extremely good sculpt. Love the sculpt. So Johnny Boy, thank you. Yes, I do agree. I'm so glad we're getting some cool historical units. I really hope there's like cool squads, like Mongolian archer squads or samurai squads on horseback or all kinds of cool stuff. I want all of that. Give it all to me all. So the fact that they're doing this is pretty great. So stat block is solid for 90 points. Counter strike is the normal counter strike. Well, it can't affect samurai. He does get the treasure glyph. Tagana starts the game with the blood cursed blade treasure glyph on his army card. I can't remember exactly what it does, but basically it's like, I think it's an insta skull on attacks, and then like it can't be traded to other figures, and he like takes a wound if he doesn't do damage or something like that. So it's kind of a blade that you do damage or take damage, right? If you can't do damage, like the blade has to be sated, kind of thing, right? It's like a sentient blade is kind of, I think, the idea, right? Where you're dealing wounds and feeding it blood, or you're feeding it your own blood. So super solid, again, with only 3 attack. Having a treasure glyph that can do that kind of ability is pretty solid. The blade thirst, once per turn after attacking a figure, you may move Karga up to 4 spaces and then may make 1 normal attack. If you use the blade of thirsts, Karga takes 1 wound at the end of his turn. So this is hyper relevant because this just states once per turn. It doesn't say after his turn. It doesn't say during his turn. It doesn't say once per his turn. It is just once per turn. Which means this guy gets to bond passively with anything in the game. Yeah. He turns into auto draft for almost, not almost anything, but a lot of things. Now his bonding itself is primarily for Nishi, right? And you can have what's his face Guilty turn him into a lawman so that Nishi's bonding with him and he has lawman synergies and blah blah blah. But once per his turn, it is meant to be only his turn. No, No, well, okay, I would need to see some documentation on that. I don't think that's correct. Um, it says once per turn after attacking a figure. I mean, that's, that would be any turn, right? I mean, I would need to see some clarification on that. Maybe they answered that in the Discord. Maybe there's an FAQ, or that was asked already. It would say player turn if the other way worked. Well, no, because I'm not saying. Sorry, I should clarify. I agree. It's not activating on your opponent's turn. I do agree with that, but I'm saying you take a turn with, I don't know, Frost Claws, right, and you bond with the new Concan or whatever. So the Frost Claws. Well, I don't think they bond with the new Concan. Well, no, they do. Wait, yeah, because he's a champion and a knight. Anyway, all right. So they bond with the new Concan. And the Frost Claws are like, okay, well, we want to, now take a turn with Takanawa Kaiga. Because devs did clear it up in the Discord post, but it certainly needs an FAQ. Oh, okay. So if that's confirmed, then great. Because this is like, I was like, this is so broken. Because I was like, basically you drop him into any army with bonding, and you automatically have double bonding, right? Because you could bond with a whatever, Frostclaw's bond with Adelburn, let's just say, and then because it says once per turn, it's just you could then take his turn passively as part of the bonded turn or whatever. We need more of this in contemporary Heroescape. Such an epic character. Yeah, I mean he's a historical unit. Absolutely more of this for sure. Okay, so if it's only during his turn, then that's fair. That's fair. So once per turn after attacking. So basically, after he's attacked, he can basically move and attack again. If he does, then he takes a wound. So yeah, he's damaging himself to take another turn. That could still be super good. Still, it's basically overextend attack, right? It's basically getting to take another turn. Oh yeah, there's the blade. When it attacks the adjacent figure with a normal attack, add 1 automatic skull. Yep, cool. At the end of this hero's turn, if no figure took a wound during that turn, this hero takes 1 wound. Right, exactly. So, yep, I was right. Auto skull. And if they don't do damage, then the hero takes the damage. Okay. Him taking the damage also satiates the blade. Oh. Good point. I didn't think about that. That's a good point. So you're incentivized to take the extra turn. Incentivized to take the extra turn. Alright. So these guys, we've got Ison Expedition. Sorry, my contact is sticking. Ison Expedition. Sorry, I just had to chat really quick. Vord Unique Squad Scout. Oh, Scout, fun. That's synergy with the Vinoc Warlord, surprisingly. Okay, medium 4, move 5, range 7, attack 1, defense 3. Okay, range is good. Attack is trash. And there's only a 1 life unique squad. So, okay. Expeditionary Force. Before taking a turn with the Ison Expedition, you may first take a turn with a Vord or Scientist hero you control. Okay, so Scientist is that Durgeth lady. Not necessarily that makes that good, but Vord is good because there's... So it's basically Vord, Vord bonding. So all the Vord heroes, they get to do bonding there, which means that they could bond with the Blink guy, the 20-point bonder. Gets another bonding option. Let's go. Yeah. Scientist or Vord hero, add 1 to the hero's move value during that turn. Okay. Honestly, super solid. I mean, for 75 points, bonding with all the Vord heroes. Yeah, I mean that does mean Nesbit gets a bonding squad, and he'll be able to move them on his turn. So that is actually kind of interesting, because that means Nesbit would get 6 move, and then could pick all of them up, drop them off, and then they could become kind of a shock troop where they attack once they land. That's actually kind of interesting. Well equipped, Eston Expedition figures may choose and ignore any effects from terrain tiles they move onto or occupy other than molten lava. Okay. So they're good at avoiding bad terrain. Fair enough. So molten lava, they're dead, but, other than that, normal lava and other terrain types they can avoid. Cool. Lineup shot 2. When an Iceland Expedition figure attacks a non-adjacent figure, if it did not move this turn, add 2 to its attack. Okay. Here's where Nesbit gets interesting. Yep. Full gunship. Yeah, I like that idea. I don't think it's going to be particularly good. I think it's going to be still pretty bad in general because you're paying 140 just for Nesbit. But you get a bonding squad that increases his movement. So, boom, turn 1, you have a threat range of 13. So, turn 1, you've got Nesbit, flying out for 6, picking up these guys. He lands them, and because they're not moving, you can place them where they land, and then they get to shoot for 7. They get base 3 attack because the +2, and if they're on height, blowing something up, that's 3 attacks of 4. And then guess what? Turn 2, he flies them somewhere else, and you blow them up again. Interesting. Now, you'd be paying 215 points for that opening salvo, but that'd be kind of fun to play out and see if it's any good. I kind of doubt it, because that's just a lot of points. But, I don't know. Maybe. I don't need to see the point total. What am I going to do? Not run them together? Yeah, that's a fair point, Daniel Chance. Yeah, no, I mean, they're meant to play together, clearly. I mean, they're meant to be that, to work with Zed, for sure. Yeah, and honestly, it's kind of solid. I think that's a legit way to play him. An opening salvo where he flies out, drops them, they blow something up from height for 3 attacks of 4, and then if you can back up or maneuver and do it again a couple more times, force them back, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I like it. Alright, we're coming to the end here. Almost, sort of. Okay, Volc Gimble, Dragon, Unique Hero, Scientist. Well, there's a Scientist. Boom. So they can bond with the Scientist, Mr. Gimble. Also being a Dragon, it can bond with Scions and Green Scales. 3, 6, 1, 5, 4. Solid stat line. Solid stat line for the points. 150 points. Draconic Engineering. Gimble starts each game right with the Breath, Wings, and Claws treasure glyph on this army card. These treasure glyphs cannot be placed on this army card except by this power. Gimble cannot drop these glyphs except when destroyed or with the equipment special power. Okay, so starts with treasure glyphs. Got it. A blade of equipment. When Gimble would take 1 or more wounds, you may place a Breath, Wings, or Claws treasure glyph on this army card onto an empty space within 1 clear sight spaces of Gimble. If you do, ignore all wounds. Oh. So, he starts the game with treasure glyphs. If he would take 1 or more wounds, you can place it. Wait. 1 wounds. You may place a on this army card onto an empty space within 1 clear sight spaces of Gimble. If you So you're not destroying it. You just place it. Which means you can just pick it back up again. Right? Like, he takes damage, you drop it. He takes damage, you drop it, so you don't take damage. And then his next turn, he just goes back on top of it and picks it back up. So it's an exoskeleton marker that you just pick back up. And with base 4 defense, that's pretty solid. Now, 3 life. Yeah, I mean, you can focus him down and maybe kill him really quick, but he gets 3 free drops and then he gets to pick them back up again. Why can't he pick them back up? Why wouldn't he be... Oh, because of Draconic Engineering? except by this power. Okay. That he can't pick them back up. Okay. Darn! Oh, come on, you guys. I was getting excited. In that case, that's pretty tough. I mean, 4 defense, 3 life. I thought it made a lot of sense that you could, just pick them back up. But yeah, that's kind of poopy. All right, well, whatever. Yeah, first menu with 5 special powers. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you get 3 treasure glyphs and 2 powers. But you lose the abilities from those treasure glyphs. But your stat block is still the same, right? Like, yeah, you lose the treasure glyphs, but you get the same stat block. So still 6 moves, still 5 attacks, still 4 defense. Yeah, still solid unit. But I kind of like the idea of just being able to pick them back up again. Obviously, that's pretty overpowered, because then you're not really taking damage. You just create a screen, and then you just keep picking up the treasure glyphs, and you never truly take damage. So yeah, that would just be OP. But oops, I did it again. All right, well, that was the end of the Secrets of the Citadel. Now just the promos really quick. It's almost midnight, so we're gonna just jump through these. Oops, I did that again. Promos. Oh, whatever. Okay. Isamu's broken because he's still 10 points and he's relentless, which, guess what? We have a 10-point figure that gets to bond with the Gnarlfoot Barrels or whatever. So both our 20-point and our 10-point figures get free bonding with units, which is kind of crazy. Mega. Oh, right. Going over the treasure glyphs. Yeah. You're right. Yep. Going over the dragon treasure glyphs. So yes, Gimble gets the treasure glyphs. These are the 3 abilities. Thank you. So wings, this hero gains the flying special power after moving normally. If this hero used the flying special power and is not a scientist, to destroy the glyph. So again, you could use it when this glyph is removed from Gimble's army card. Remove the wings from Gimble's miniature. So when the miniature loses the glyph, it loses part of the miniature. When you use it in other settings, right, with other units, if you really wanted to, then it just gets destroyed after 1 use. Claws. This hero gains the Claws special power when hero attacks an adjacent figure with a normal attack. Before rolling attack test, you may choose 1 figure that is also adjacent to this hero. If the defending figure takes any wounds from this hero's attack, the chosen figure takes 1 wound. This is Cleave. So from the ability from Tandros, you get Cleave, which is super good. Same thing. You remove the miniature, part of the miniature, or destroy it if someone else uses it. And Breath, you're giving it a breath attack, which is amazing. 6 line, attack 4, always good. After this hero uses the Heat Beam special attack, if that figure is not assigned to destroy. Oh, well, yeah, same thing. Okay, so it's actually, there's nothing else. This is just a fire line breath attack. So, again, you're removing parts of the miniature if the miniature takes damage and you drop the glyph. Otherwise, it's getting super statted out abilities. That you can do the special attack, you can do normal attacks with the cleave ability, and you can fly. So, super relevant, very good abilities. Okay, yeah, Isamu. Isamu is undead this time. He's got sword stuck through him. 6 move, 4 attack, 2 defense, so a little bit better defense, a little bit better attack than his original version, same movement. He has Phantom Walk still, and he still has high survivability based off his Eternal Servitude. Isamu cannot be destroyed by wounds on this army card except during the end of a round. So basically that means turn 1 and turn 2, you could attack and damage him all you want. It won't do anything to him. So it's wasted time and order markers. Or wasted time and effort. And so really you have to kill him on turn 3. Or you could attack him during turn 1 and turn 2 and kill him, but he doesn't die and get removed from the board until the end of the round. So he's still going to be whacking at you. And because he bonds with the Gnarlur Raiders or whatever, the Gnarlur Bears are just going to be going crazy, right? Like he's going to be bonding with a 10-point filler who doesn't die at the end of the round, so he's still going to be whacking you even after you try and kill him. Yeah. So anyway, this is a Samu 2.0. Love it. It's going to be great. I like it. It's silly that it bonds, but here we are in the new age of Heroescape. Alrighty, Taylord coming out of retirement. Taylord coming out of retirement. Kyrie, Nikiro, Gladiator and Warrior, so he bonds with Cap 1 Gladiators. Sure. Why not? Has Deadly Strike, because he should. He matches the minions of Utgar, so that's good. And then you've got Stealth Flying, which is, of course, great. And yes, Mega Solar 4 attack will chew through anything. Back to Asamu's point, yes. I mean, 4 attack from Asamu, a 10-point figure who bonds and doesn't die at the end of the round. Is, like I said, he's going to be a guaranteed draft every time you run the offers. Because why wouldn't you? He's 10 points. He does bond with Cap 1s. He's a Gladiator hero. What do you mean? Oh, does it? Oh, it specifies human gladiator. Okay. I didn't remember. I haven't played him in a while. But yeah, human gladiator bonding. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay, fair enough. Then he'll have some other gladiator synergy somewhere. Or if this is again a nod to strictly lore and nothing else, then boo! Come on. I don't like that. You could have just... But I'm assuming they're going to do some sort of future synergy for that. Wiping Big Mac crumbs off his face, yeah. 5 life, 5 move, 2 attack, 4 defense. Honestly, solid stats. 120 point. That stat block is super solid. Relentless, so he bonds with the Gnarlfurs. Stealth Flying, great. He already had it. So now he just gets it officially. Deadly Strike again. We're good there. So Onslaught Aura. Once per player turn after another Gladiator figure you control, or any figure you control within 4 clear sight spaces of Taylor the Curie Warrior, rolls attack dice for a normal attack against an adjacent figure. It may add 1 skull to the roll. He was a Gladiator before the war. Yeah, no, I was familiar with that. Taylor's Coliseum or whatever. No, I got that from the lore piece. It's just, again, why? Why do I have to have the class of Gladiator there just as a nod to the lore? I don't think it's necessary. Anyway, so this is weird because it says after another Gladiator figure you control, or any figure you control within 4 clear sight spaces of Taylor the Curie Warrior. Why do they need to specify Gladiator when Gladiator is included in any figure you control? Because it says after another Gladiator figure you control, or any figure you control within 4 sight. Oh, I get it. Okay, so it doesn't. The Gladiator figures don't have to be within 4 spaces. Oh, okay, yeah. Got it. Okay, so any Gladiator hero anywhere on the map can get this bonus, but other non-Gladiator figures only get the bonus within 4. Cheerio, heyo. Basically, he buffs all nearby melee, but doesn't have to be near a Gladiator. Yep, exactly. Yep. So, control within 4 spaces of Taylor the Curie Warrior, rolls attack dice for a normal attack against an adjacent figure. It may add 1 skull to the roll. Yeah. Oh, man. Minions of Utgar but now become A tier. Minions of Utgar are going to go crazy. I mean, that's... Once he's in position, that's crazy. Oh, man. You add him in Leviattack. You do him, Leviattack, and Minions of Utgar. Leviattack will give the bonus of movement because of Taylor being in the army. And then she gets a reroll with the minions, and then he turns all the minions' attacks into auto skulls, which is double skulls. Golly. Oh, man. Wild. That's crazy. That's crazy, you guys. That's crazy. Eel and Fafua. Eel and Fafua. Alright, first off, gotta say, miniature is A tier. S tier. S tier. Yes, agreed, Daniel Chance. 200 points for him in Leviathan. I agree, it is a lot. But, like 3 squads of minions plus 200 points of those heroes is going to go crazy because they'll just delete everything they attack. Like, everything dies. Now, you don't even need Leviathan at that point, right? You can just drop her and add another squad of minions because she was supposed to make the minions better by just they get to reroll, but now you don't even need the reroll because the whole idea with minions is you just want the 1 skull. Now 2 skulls is great, but you just want the 1 skull. But now, Leviathan, or not now, what's his face? The new Tailord, he just gives an automatic skull to every minion that attacks. So they're already rolling 2 no matter what. Like, you don't even have to roll the dice. It's just, if I blank, it's an attack of 2. Like 2 skulls no matter what. So now you just get to add to it. So now you automatically get 4 skulls or 6 skulls. Just, oh, he makes minions of Ukar A tier. Oh, absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. Yeah, spicy with Gnarl first, for sure. For sure. Okay. Alright. Fafua. Varied. Unique hero. Pirate and monster. There we go again. Unfathomable. Oh, pirate. Oh, pirate. So, synergy with Crimson Widow. And we get to bond with Knaves. And we get to bond with Dreadnoughts. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay. 8 life, 5 move, 5 attack, 4 defense. Statted out. Super dope. Unfathomable. Let's go. Let's go. Unfathomable. Here we go. So that means he gets moved by the Gallery. I don't like Monster. I think it would have been fine without Monster unless there's some crazy synergy they're going to come out with, because I think this would be just great as is. I think Monster is specifically referring to the beast the Goblin's riding, and the pirate is for the Goblin. I think that's the idea here. But golly, I mean, this dude is going to be nuts bonding with the Knaves and Dreadnoughts because he's going to take so much attention. They're going to run up and do crazy stuff. 155 points, like, let's go. And then on top of that, he can just be parts of Gilry armies, because why not, right? Like, Gilry are already doing crazy things, and then this guy comes in and does even more. Yeah, Eel's the Goblin, right, exactly. So I get that. Yeah, Fafua is the what? The Cthulhu Daddy is Fafua. Mobile Gunner, basically just Mock from VC, so but better. Range 5, attack 4. He can attack after attacking normally, and you can target non-adjacent figures, which is just so good. Range 5, attack 4 is such a good special power. Like, that's such a good special attack. Because you're attacking normally and that, but you don't have to. Like, you can just sit back and ping shot. An attack of 4 is so good. Man. Love it, though. I would have been sad if it was an attack of 3, because special attacks of 3 can just be so weak and meh. So, yeah. Out of control. If Eel and Fafua have 4 or more wounds at the start of their turn, they cannot use Mobile Gunner. Attack and must attack all adjacent figures, even ones they aren't engaged with. Yeah, so this kind of makes sense. Basically, the idea here is, I'm assuming Eel's the guy on top, and Fafua is the big ol' hunk Cthulhu Daddy. The idea here is that, right, like, Eel is controlling, you know, he's like the controller, right, of the beast. And so, or the monster, right? And if you're at 8 life down to 4, the 8 life, you know, pool is representation of both of them. So if you're halfway down, you assume that, I like the mechanic, right? You assume that Eel's been killed, therefore you don't get the gunner special attack, and then at that point, if the controller's dead, then Fafua is going crazy and just, you know, again, out of control, attacking everything. So I kind of like it. It's an interesting, thematic, fun ability. You know, kind of a negative ability. Well, no, it is a negative ability, right? But in some scenarios, it's actually a buff, because as he's damaged, if your other units are spread out and away, and you have order markers on him, he can go up and he can attack tons of units, right? Your opponent's units, and if they're in pods, he can attack all of them if he's engaged. So in a way, it's a negative, but also can be a positive. So anyway, tried to burn through those last few ones. Ended up going, what was the final time? 2 hours and 45 minutes, so not bad. Not bad. So past midnight in the central time zone. I'm going to call it there, guys. I'm starting to get a little bit... my eyes are... I don't know if you could tell, my eyes are starting to stick and my speech is slurred. I'm not figuring things out. But we got through them. We got through all the cards. We talked about the synergies, the implications of them. Honestly, I was pretty happy with most of the things that we talked about. There's just some that I didn't remember, and so kind of had to talk through some of those. But man, going back through these and gleaning through the specific abilities and stats, I was super happy to see a lot of these. I'm really excited. I think there's a lot of really good designs. So go out there, buy the new sets. Again, more expensive by the figure, cheaper by the box, technically. So take that for what it is. Hope you enjoyed the stream. A little bit of longer one, longer form. If you want to go back and listen and rewatch, just listen, right? But yeah, hopefully we had some fun talking through the cards. Appreciate you guys sharing your thoughts and your ideas on what those cards do. As again, I tried to not spend time looking at them so I could specifically kind of have first impressions myself, tonight for you guys. So anyway, we'll call it there. We're gonna turn in. Enjoyed that time with you guys. Appreciate you guys sticking around. Had a solid, active stream of like 30 plus the whole night. So that was awesome. And yeah, and again, take the information and go buy it all. But if you do, link in the description of all my videos for the affiliate link. So yeah, support the channel. All right. That's me signing off. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys next time.